Hi, and welcome to Thursday with a Friend. My name is Lawrence, Larry, Punk, so many other awful names that people probably say. Sometimes behind my back, maybe sometimes to me, maybe sometimes over my head, because many of you guys know I'm not the tallest person in the world. Anyway, for this episode, I was able to get someone to come out of YouTube retirement. She said, you know what? I was done. I was about to delete my account, but for you and for Thursday with a Friend, I will come out and end my retirement. So my special guest, Silverkayyy, Kayla, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. That's exactly what happened.
You know what? I have a way with people that I'm able just to bring out the best in them.
Mhm.
Sometimes maybe that's the worst, but thank you so much for joining me.
Of course, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be back in the space. Yeah, we've kind of taken a hiatus. I'm not completely retired. We're just me and my co-host Johnny, we got a little burnt out from the YouTubing and life just happened and yeah, but
and
yeah, I yeah, go
that
ahead.
happens. I mean, that happens, man. Like it's
Mhm.
people tend to think this is like super easy, and they don't realize how much time people spend in these chairs and behind the camera. And not
Yeah.
everyone has time to do it to put the focus they want on it. So
Yeah. And it takes a lot out of you. I mean, like talking for however many hours and like especially for people that, just make videos and there's like editing and everything involved in that. So, yeah, no matter what you do, it takes a lot out of you for sure.
yeah, again, I think there's a lot of things that people think are super easy in life because they
Mhm.
haven't done it, and they're like, I can do that. I could sit there and I could talk to. I could do reviews. I could sit there and do live streams. There's no work to it. I just hit the record button. Like we all
Yeah.
wish.
If
Uh,
only it was that easy.
and you guys have a live tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, so ironically, yeah, we kind of talked about things at the end of like fall last year when we were just like we kept pushing back our weekly Trek Retrek show that we had. And it just got to the point where we're like, I guess this is just not happening. But then we decided we're like, okay, if there's something we really want to talk about, like we'll come back and talk about it. Please ignore my roommate's cat. I don't know if you can hear him. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna be talking about Severance tomorrow because tonight, actually right now, the finale of season 2 is out. So we're gonna talk about Severance season 2 with our friends Mark and Alice will be joining us. So excited to do that again. So that'll be fun.
All right. Well, I'm glad
Mhm.
to hear that. Glad to see that you're back. And again, it is a lot of
Yeah.
fun. It's a lot easier when you're like myself. And yes, I have people that help with my moderators, but I'm basically controlling it. So I'm not at the mercy of someone else. And
Mhm.
if one person can't do it, it's like I get to do it all alone. A lot of things all alone.
Yeah.
All right. So first, I want to say something.
Mhm.
I didn't realize the other shirt was dirty. I wanted to wear it. The first time you ever communicated with me,
Uh-huh.
you tried taking shots at me about wearing my Etnies shirt, and you made
Oh
some comments.
yeah.
That was
That's
the first
right.
time you ever communicated, and I still have the shirt, but it's in the dirty clothes. So I wore my other Etnies shirt, um, and I
Love
don't
it.
know if you. I don't know what you were trying to do, if you thought I would be offended by it or what, which
Oh,
I
no.
have lots of Etnies shoes. Unfortunately, they just got sold, so I'm not sure
Oh.
how they're going to be doing. They fired their whole team.
Oh, shit.
They fired their whole team,
Oh, shit.
along with like two of
I,
like
like
the best skaters in the world.
I didn't even know they were still a thing until I saw your shirt, and then we were talking about it. I was like, "Oh, I wore these in 7th grade because it was a trend at the time, and I thought I was so cool." But apparently, yeah, they're still a thing,
And that's when
kind
I
of.
knew you were young because you said it was a trend in 7th grade.
Yeah.
I believe in either 7th or 8th grade may have been the first etnies for me, the first etnies that ever came out. when they
Yeah.
first became a
Wow.
shoe company. So, uh,
Was that
but
1937?
somewhere around that, that's 37, 27, about the same year as that the Yellowstone show that's happening right now.
Mm. Mhm. Perfect.
Let's say hi to the chat really quick, and then we'll get into you. God, that came out
That's
so
what they
loud.
said. Yeah. Hey, it's me. It's perfect.
You know what? I don't think I'm gonna worry about saying anything that's off the cuff with you.
No,
We've seen the
you're
seahorse.
good.
Uh,
Yeah, I actually purposely put that on display here. We'll talk about that later if people don't know about the seahorse.
it gets
So,
brought up
yeah.
on the clubhouse from time to time. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hashtag
so
never forget.
we got a Son of a Crayon Slayer. We have Mark Vibert. Do you know who this
Vibert.
is?
Vibert. Yep.
Okay,
Hmm.
because I've
He's my
never seen them.
boyfriend.
So, yeah, thank you for joining. We have Payne's Toy Samples that says, "Hey kids, glad to see Kayla again. Hope things
Hey,
are better for
Aaron.
her and her family." We have Menhoza. We have GI Bro who's joining us here. We have Stanley Eberhardt. We have Clint Jorgensen. Um, and then we have Silverkayyy saying Lego, but not Legos, because we know that it's not Lego, it's the plural version of Lego.
Yes.
Matthew Matson, my first moderator. We have Same Time Toys. We have Thanos Captor, who I know you know pretty well. We have Action
Mhm.
Fake saying, "Hey Punk, hi my beautiful daughter, and the rest of you hooligans."
He's my internet dad.
Your internet dad.
Hmm. Yep.
That kind of sounds weird in some ways, but I understand.
Yes.
uh, Viper Scout is joining us. And let's see here. We have Afflicted Studios and we have Rowdy Riles joining, which means her live stream just got done. If you're not watching her, please go ahead and check out her channel and watch everything that she has to do.
Nice.
Everything she has to say, I guess is
Say, do, whatever.
look at this. Ramen Toys jumping in here quickly. And then
Oh
we
my
have
gosh.
Vine Jungle Figure Fact. That is such a tongue twister for me. I mean, I know we've been on streams
Fine
together.
Jungle Figure Factory.
Yes. I bet I'll never get it right. And SDS Dog is here. All right. So now we know your name is Kayla, but you do have
Hmm.
Silver K. How did you come up with the
Hmm.
name Silverkayyy?
Well, it's
Is
funny
there
you
a
asked
story
me
to
if there's something I wanted to talk and didn't want to talk about and did not think that was going to be the first question.
it?
Because I love silver, I'll say that. And then K
Oh,
for the beginning of my name.
like the silver bullet?
Sure. The color silver.
The color silver. I was expecting more vibrant makeup like you normally have.
I know. I didn't have enough time,
I know you said you were
sadly.
running a little late, so
Yeah, because I like
it's okay.
just came from dog sitting, so yeah, I had to keep it tight.
Oh, so Mark says she loves killing werewolves, which is
Yes.
really bad for Matthew because he has a whole arsenal of them in his collection. So,
LOL.
and Sean Jones is jumping in here. All right, so do you mind me asking about how old you are? I know you're never supposed
No,
to
that's
ask a
fine.
woman.
That's fine. I'm 32.
32. So you may be the
Yeah,
youngest contestant that I've had on yet.
probably. I usually am in this community, as I've found.
Well, you know what? I know there is one that's a little bit younger, which is still odd. I think Bobby B is like 34 when I had him on,
Mm.
which I thought he was like in his 60s. I told him that. I thought he was like some 62-year-old guy that smoked cigarettes like crazy. Come to find out that he's like this 34-year-old jacked guy from the
Oh
military.
my God.
Like,
That's
oh,
so
okay.
funny.
Uh,
It's always funny to be like, streaming with people that, you may just normally see like as an icon or just,
Yep.
message with on social media in one place or the other. And you have this idea of like what they look like, how they talk, whatever. And then you see them and talk to them and like, oh, that's very different.
Yep. And
I've
that was one
definitely.
thing. That was one thing with the show. I said I will not talk to an icon for
Mhm.
a couple hours. You have to be
Yeah.
willing to show your face, and not everyone is, and that is perfectly fine. But I can't have a conversation because we get pretty in depth with stuff, and you don't get
Yeah.
emotion. You don't get the feeling if you can't see someone. And like I
Yeah.
said, that's the whole purpose of this. And the other thing, like you said, and I told you earlier, this whole show came from wondering these people in the chat and who they actually are. And I always wanted to
Mhm.
promote the people that have supported me in some way, in some way. But what you were saying about seeing the icon, especially the guys that do reviews, you never really see their face.
Yeah.
We've talked about how tall people are and how big they actually are because you don't get a sense for them
Yeah.
because they're always just sitting. Some people you
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
are like really tall and then they're short or vice versa. There was
Yeah.
there was one person at Joe Fest that I thought was a heavier set guy, and then I see him and realize he's just very tall.
Yep. That'll
um,
happen.
we got Mother Slug jumping in here, and we have Rolando Utah Toy Hunter, which I absolutely I just love that name for some reason. So do you mind me asking where you like what area you were born in? Were you
Yeah, I was born and raised in the Bay Area, California, NorCal. Don't call it Cali.
the, the East Bay?
um, huh?
The East Bay?
Like
I
South Bay
okay. I
area.
I only know East Bay because of Rancid.
Okay.
So the reason just like people know South Detroit from that one the one song, Born and Raised in
Mhm.
South Detroit. There is no South
Mhm.
Detroit. South Detroit is technically Windsor, Canada. Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Okay. I'll take your word
There's
for it.
North Detroit, there's East Detroit, there's West Detroit, there's no South Detroit. Don't ask why, but Canada technically is below. So
Ah,
we're supposed to be Southfield, Michigan, is what they
huh.
meant to say.
Interesting.
Motu Guru jumping in here saying, "Hey Punk, hello
Motu.
Kayla." Um,
Hello,
all right,
hello.
so you grew up in the South Bay, you said,
Mhm.
just the Bay,
Born and
California
raised.
area.
Yep. It's pretty much just have been here my whole life. Still here. Family lives here, so haven't strayed too far.
So, so with your parents, were your parents together the whole time? Did you have any
Mhm.
siblings?
I'm an only child,
Your only
actually.
child. That explains a lot.
It does. Totally does. It's funny because most people are surprised when I tell them that, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know the difference. Like, I do have some friends that are only children, and I'm like, that tracks for them, but I'm very different from them. I've always just been very independent and like have always wanted to do things on my own. Yeah, because I have some friends that even at 32, their parents still do a lot of things for them, and I'm like, couldn't be me.
I'm
So,
not. I'm
but
not
that's
going to say
also
anything.
this
I'm
kind
not
of
going to say anything
area
about
as
my
well.
stepdaughter, but yes. I guess her mother and I still do, and we're not even together. I've raised her, and she's 28, living in California, and
Hmm.
I know that her mom still does a lot for her, and I feel like my
Mhm.
son, who's 18, is going to be that way too. Now, my youngest, who will be on next week, uh, I can
Oh,
already tell
yeah.
she's not going to be like that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and again, you're very unique, and again, I think that's great. I think everyone
Thank
being
you.
the same in this world is awful. I'll never understand the
Exactly.
sheep. And you come in with a presence. And again, I don't know if you were like this your whole life, but we'll obviously get to it, hopefully. Um,
Mhm.
I love
I
the
was
people that,
not. Spoiler alert.
well, I love people that just don't give a fuck because,
I
I
don't.
grew up in an age of skateboarding where it wasn't cool. Nowadays, everyone skateboards, no one looks down on it. We will look down upon.
Mhm.
And it is hard, especially at a young age, for people to not care. Like, not
Yeah.
care what other people think, shall I say. So I
Yeah.
have a lot of respect for everyone that's like that because that's how I came up. Uh, and Mark
Yeah.
is saying Kayla is indeed a uniquely amazing soul of a person. That is very deep.
Thanks.
Probably the deepest thing that's ever been said on this channel.
He is my boyfriend, so it checks out.
Oh, okay. Well, then that says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
Very
write the
sweet.
stuff out for him then?
No. That's who he is.
All right. So, are your parents still together?
Mhm.
So you were raised.
Parents are still together. Yeah. My dad's older, so my dad is going to be 80 this year actually, and my mom's 11 years younger, so she's going to be 69 this year, lol. So yeah, they've been together my whole life.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
still
good.
together, still going strong. They work together too, which I don't know how they do
Oh
that, but
wow,
somehow they don't murder each other.
that is rough. I'm being 100% honest. I know when my ex and I split up, she worked from home for my company, the company that I worked
Mm,
for,
mhm.
and it is one of those things where when you've known someone for so long, when you go to work, like that's kind of like the only thing you don't have to talk about. And then if they work
Yeah,
with you, like you don't even come home and have like stories to say like, yeah, this happened at work, because they're like, yeah, I already know.
yeah.
Yeah, I already know.
You're like, "I was there." Yeah, I don't know how they do it. They've always had a very special relationship, and I've been very fortunate. Um, I've my relationship with them specifically has definitely had its ups and downs. I think everyone does with their parents, and I am grateful now that I have a better relationship with them than I have before, but
All right,
still isn't without its hiccups.
so Ed is saying he has not approved of this so-called boyfriend. So is he really your
Sorry,
boyfriend?
dad. Yeah.
Okay, so then did I pronounce his name properly?
Mark Vibert, yeah.
Vibert. Okay,
Yeah.
I said Vibert, I think, or Vibert. So
I
I
said
tried to.
Vibert after you said it, but it's okay.
Yeah, I said it twice and still got it wrong, and it's actually pronounced the same way that it.
It's
Alex
okay.
S jumping in here. All right, so as a kid, I mean, you were born. What year were you born?
1993.
90. Holy shit!
I'm a
Hey,
Capricorn.
so am I. Except I was
When's your
born
birthday?
December 29th.
Oh, January 8th. Nice. No
Yes.
wonder why we get along. It all makes sense.
Well, I thought everyone got along with me because I'm just awesome.
Mm, sure.
Oh, wait a
Sure,
minute.
Dan.
No, that's why people don't like me. Uh, all right, so 93. Holy shit. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm trying to think what was going on in 93.
Jurassic Park.
I was about to graduate. All right, so do you remember like the first toys you played with? Not like the first toys you fell in love with. And again,
I
for
do.
most people my age, we remember a lot of people remember Adventure People, Hot Wheels, Matchbox, uh,
Mhm.
stuff like that. Do you
So
remember
the
like your
funny
first toys?
yeah, the funny thing is this whole collecting thing that I've now become a part of the last few years, it is definitely different from why you and a lot of other people collect. Like most people collect from nostalgia, from
We'll,
having certain
we'll,
toys.
we'll get to why you collect later.
Yeah. That's usually where it like starts, as I've learned. But for me, I didn't really have like action figures or like play sets or anything growing up. But I did have like these really big Legos, Lego. Um, huh?
Were they called lock blocks?
I have no idea.
Okay.
They were just always in a plastic bin. I don't remember ever being like gifted them. They were just like always in a plastic bin.
Okay.
And then we would get the Chevron Techron cars and play and like make buildings with the Lego and like play with the. Do you remember those cars that they had? They would
Kind
sell them at Chevrons.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, they were a little bit bigger than the Hot Wheels, right?
They were like, I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. I don't know, like this big.
They're about 6 inches,
Um,
about 6 inches long.
yeah, I think about that. We had, no, LOL, a little above average. Um, yeah, we would always collect those, and then I had like a kitchen plastic big kitchen play set, and then I had a crash cart like play like thing, which everyone's like, why would you have a crash cart as a child? And I wanted to be a doctor, so my parents are like, here, have this crash cart to play with. So it had like a fake needle and like a bunch of other, like a stethoscope, all
I
this stuff
remember
on it.
there was a Fisher Price set. It was
It was probably
blue.
that.
It was blue and white.
Yep.
The stethoscope was
hmm
red,
I think it was
blue,
red.
and
Yeah.
yellow,
Wow. Great
and
memory.
it actually worked to a
hmm
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It had the syringe was yellow, and you pushed right,
Yes. Yes.
and
It was like yellow and clear, I think, or yellow and white.
yep.
Yeah. Wow.
I
Yeah. And then the
had
like
it.
the
I
shells would
actually
come
had
out.
it.
You had it?
Yes, and
Oh my God.
it
I've
told you
never
what
met
country.
anyone else who's
And
had
it
it.
had,
That's
and if I
amazing.
remember correctly, it had a white and blue case that everything's stored in.
I think so. I don't remember the
Ed,
case as much.
Ed, find it and post a link. I've
That's
totally
so
forgot
funny.
about that. I totally forgot
hmm
about that, and now I'm like,
I had a lot of fun with it as a kid. I had that, and then um and then it's not toy related, but later on my dad got me a mini workbench that I used to like play on, and had my own like toolkit and everything. Can you tell I was a tomboy as a kid?
no, no, not at
And
all.
my mom tried to give me her Barbies, and all I would do was take their heads off and take their clothes off, and she's like, "No, you can't play with these anymore." And I was like, "Damn it." Which also makes a lot of sense now. Um yeah, those were the main ones. And then I just thought of this the other day. Um my parents didn't get me this. It must have been from one of my aunt or uncles or my grandma when I was little. It was the 1999 I think Mattel. It was like the Winnie the Pooh tree house, and you would open it up and there was like a basket with like a pulley and then like a swing you could attach on the side, and then it came with, I think, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. I don't know. I looked it up
That's
the
not,
other
I
day and
mean, that
went down
sounds
a
about right. The ones that would come together.
yeah, I
Uh,
went down a deep dive, and now I'm gonna have to keep looking for it on eBay because now I need it because I loved that set. Um, yeah, Mark said I loved a weird Barbie. It's funny because I got the weird Barbie from the Barbie movie. I just don't have it up yet. I have a lot of toys that I got last year that are still in their boxes. But
we got
yeah,
Tony's face jumping in here,
hi
and a few other
Tony.
people. Sondanos jumped in here. So, uh, no, it's again, it is cool that you can find things on eBay that you had.
hmm
I think it's easier
hmm
for you because you're closer to the internet age.
hmm
I recently found while we were, I think, actually on with Oz, it might have been Punk's Pit. I had this. It was a lamp, but it was a van that was similar to an 18 van, had a sliding door, so I
hmm
would play GI Joe in it. But it was your
hmm
lamp, so it really couldn't leave the nightstand, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But I was
yeah.
able to find it, and I'm like, I want this, and I think it was like $150. I'm like, I don't want it that bad. um,
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't like, I had a lot of stuffed animals. I've always loved stuffed animals. But like never like action figures or play sets or anything like that. I also just played a lot outside. Like crazy concept, but I played a lot outside. I was lucky enough to have a pretty decent sized yard since my dad had actually built our house back in 1972, back when it was cheaper to live here. Um, and, had a great yard to play in. So, yeah.
all right, so I mean, that's the stuff you early remember. Do you remember like the
hmm
first toys you fell in love with? I
Um,
love the crash cart. I mean, I love
yeah.
that memory that you had,
Hmm.
because it probably takes you to it. And the fact that like the moment you said it, I'm like, dude, I fully remember. The syringe was always fun because you could
Yeah,
either be
the
injecting
syringe was
someone,
fun.
you could
Yeah,
inject
yeah.
someone, or you could be taking blood out of them.
Yeah. The syringe was fun. Um, it was probably that because I think I got the Winnie the Pooh house later. Um, yeah, I think that was probably the first thing I really remember. I'm not sure. I think it came out before. I don't know. We'll have to
But
find out if
um,
Ed finds it.
I'm typing it in right now. I normally
Yeah,
don't
what
do this
year it
now,
was? Because I
so
know the Winnie the Pooh was 1999 when I looked it up,
it was well
which
after
is,
99. I could tell you that, or well before
oh, really?
99. No, I mean it was well before 99. I can,
Oh, well, before 99.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I'll let
Okay.
Ed look for it because there's a lot of
Okay.
stuff right. Um, I think it was Fisher Price.
Yeah,
'Cause I remember,
that sounds right. It seems like something they would make too, because I feel like they make a lot of like replicas of things,
yeah. A matter
like
of fact, I
kid
just typed
size
in
things.
1980s Fisher Price crash cart, and there's no such thing as a crash cart. Maybe doctor set.
Yeah.
Fisher Price
I always
doctor
called it
set.
the crash cart.
That seems a little too advanced for a kid.
Well, I mean, my grandpa was a doctor and the chief of surgery at a hospital here, so it was just very
I
common
found
to
it.
talk about. Ooh,
Yeah.
there we
Oh my
go.
God! It looks like Big Bird.
Is it all coming back?
Boy, it looks like Big Bird. Hold on, I'm gonna bring this up
Looks
really
like
quick.
Big Bird.
The the thing that gives you the little hammer.
Oh, yes.
And it looks like Big Bird.
Also, there was like a yes. Oh my gosh. This brings me back. Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah, the syringe.
Yellow and clear, red,
Mhm.
yellow, and
Mhm.
blue.
Yep. I
And
thought there was a little potty pan, what do you call that?
headpan?
Yeah, bedpan in
Nope, it
mine.
was not. Here's the aspirin.
Well, maybe it was a later
Blood pressure.
version because it must have been 90s when I got it.
It might have been, but this again, this was in a whole case, and I remember putting it away. Uh, yeah, this was. It looked
Did you find
Tony.
a picture?
Look, Tony still has one because that's what he does to save lives.
Do you also have a picture of the cart itself? Did you find that?
No, this was just it. This is what came up.
Oh, they didn't have a picture of the cart?
I don't know what cart you're talking about.
Oh, I had like a cart. Like it was white and like blue, and then it had trays that would like rotate out to the side.
So so either that was
And then
so
it
that was
also
a
came with either I don't know if it came with all of these things or my parents just bought it like separately,
yeah.
but I definitely had ones that looked like that.
Well, there's this one here, the medical kit. This was well after.
No, it was like it was also white and like I think turquoise-ish, maybe gray.
No, because this is on eBay.
Now
So
I'm gonna Google. Let's see.
yeah. Oh, so it has the Fisher Price medical
1990s.
kit. That's why it had the little embroiderment of the guy.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Matthew
here,
was
I found
correcting
it.
me.
I found
It
it.
wasn't aspirin. You stick the syringe in to draw the meds up. Man, I'm
I
sorry,
found a
Matthew.
picture of it. Of course, it's on Pinterest for some reason.
Well, I don't need this up anymore.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was. It's like turquoise, white, and gray. Yeah, if you search like 1990s kids crash cart, it
You can
says
bring it up.
pretend.
If you hit share, I can bring it up.
Oh God, we don't want to share my screen. Who knows what's gonna come up?
So what do you want me to say? What did you?
Here, let me just send you the Pinterest. I'll keep looking for what it is specifically.
Well, what did you Google to find it?
I just told you. I said 1990s. I just sent you the Pinterest link. Kids crash cart. I
1990 Kids
can't
Crash
find
Cart.
out what it is though.
Where the hell is your dad at?
My dad?
Okay.
Oh,
I think
you're talking about the comments.
Tall pediatric crash cart?
It says pretend play medical. I don't know if that's just what it's being called.
You said it was
If
turquoise?
the brand is, it's. I just sent you the link in the private chat of a picture of it.
Oh, in the private chat. I don't ever use the private chat.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. See, now you went away. Hold on. Now I got to reshare my screen because someone didn't want to reshare their screen because they had porn on it.
I didn't say that.
Well, what else would you want people to see?
I just don't know. I'm scared. Let's see.
Your boyfriend is like, I cannot believe you agreed to go on this.
No, he's used to it.
This.
See, kids.
See, I don't
medical
remember
part.
this, but it looks like a lot of those things are probably the same things that.
Yeah, that's what they do look the same.
Yeah.
In my stethoscope definitely wasn't purple like that. So I think I had the one that was in the picture.
Probably had like a mix and match of stuff. So
yeah, but that was it. That was it. It was a lot of fun.
That's what
Good
makes
times.
That's what makes this show fun. Just to go back and think about, because again, like you were thinking of something completely different, and now you got me thinking of something that I had, which is awesome.
I mean, it had those pieces in it. At least I don't know.
Well, you know what? It might have been one of those things where they've survived. The Fisher Price stuff, it doesn't go bad.
No.
I mean, there's people still with those poppers that aren't brand new. You can get them at Walmart.
Poppers?
That little
what kind of
thing
poppers?
that you push and it pops. I'm straight edge. I don't know anything about drugs.
Drugs. I don't know anything either.
Gun bunny jumping in here. All right. So did we answer like what your first, like what you fell in love with?
That was the first. Yeah, I would say that was it. Maybe the Techron cars.
But no, like no line, no turtles, Barbie, Rainbow Bright, Care Bears.
No. Nope.
Care Bears like right down your I mean you always have different colors. Care Bears would have been perfect.
I watched Care Bears, but yeah, I think because I was just kind of a tomboy and I love to play outside. I really didn't have stuff, which like I said, I think either that or my parents couldn't afford them. I don't know the answer. That's kind of my guess now, looking back at it, that it might have been a mixture of things. But yeah, I was also just very into stuffed animals and stuff like that. But yeah, the biggest things that stick out to me are definitely the Crash Cart, the Techron cars, and the Winnie the Pooh set for sure.
All right. Now this guy here, Action Figure Addict, he is younger than you. He's in his 20s.
Wow.
Yes.
Lucky.
I know you don't find it too often, but it does happen, right?
Most people say I look like in my 20s.
You do. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that you're as old as you are. Except other than
the best is when the younger people tell you that. I'm like, oh yes. Wear your sunscreen, kids.
I was just talking to somebody today at a client's office, and I said when I started skating again, I was about 44 at the time, 43, 44. And this guy comes up to me at the skate park, and he's talking to me, and he's like, "You're one of the older guys, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "What? You're like 26?" And I was like, "No."
Oh damn!
I'm like 44, and he was like, "Oh wow." I was like 26. I know I look younger, but I get more gray now. What?
How old are you again? I've forgotten.
49.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, you look great for your age.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I only show you from the top up.
Also, I just saw the Nugget walking by in the background.
Yeah, he got up and my son shut the door. So once he decides to want to get out, then we have to get up and open the door. I don't know why he shut the door all the way. He should know that Roman is sitting here. Anyway, all right. So it sounds like you said you collected. Not collect. I don't say we collected. We didn't collect. We played with toys and But you said you had stuffed animals. Were there's any like? Did you live through the Beanie
Beanie
Babies?
Babies. Yes, I did have Beanie Babies. And, you know, I think unfortunately my mom did get rid of them at some point, which makes
I
me
don't know if
really
that's
sad.
I don't know if that's unfortunate or she said these things ain't worth shit, so I'm getting rid of them.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they're worth stuff, and then other times, I think recently I saw an article that's like they're actually not worth that much. So who the
No,
fuck
they're
knows?
not. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not worth it. Like that craze, and good for people. Good for the middle-aged women that had something to finally collect. All right,
LOL.
I don't want to sound
That's
insensitive, but
funny.
let's be honest. All right, Beanie
Is
Babies.
that who mostly collected them? I have no idea.
Well, middle-aged or older because my ex-girlfriend before my kid's mother, her mom had so many. It was
Hmm.
crazy how many. Um, so yeah, there was that was more middle-aged women. Same with Cabbage
Interesting.
Patch Kids. All right, my
Oh yeah. I
grandmother and
never I
especially
never got into the Cabbage Patch Kids either.
yeah.
I think just because like any kind of like baby doll, I was just like, ew, no. Why do I want to take
Wow,
care of
man.
something else?
Oh,
I'm a kid.
wow. Oh, no, not babies. Oh no.
No. I'm a child. Why would I take care of another child?
And Alice Lynn
Oh,
jumping
that's
in saying
my friend
gummy
Alice.
bears are the best. I was about to say she must be someone who knows you because I have never
Hmm.
seen her. So thank you for joining.
Yep.
I definitely do appreciate it. I love having new people in here.
Alice will be on our Severance show tomorrow night, so that'll be fun.
Oh, well, that makes sense because you said
Hmm.
Alice. And I was about to ask Allison, but then before I said it, like,
Oh,
that's not
I
Allison's
would
name.
have said Allison if it was
Well, again,
Allison.
well, you just hear Alice, but before I said anything, I went, no, Allison. You would have said Allison because I have a feeling that if you called Alice or Allison Alice, she'd probably yell at you that that's not her name,
Yeah,
or
probably.
she'd just yell at you for something.
Yeah, I
Well, at
did see
least
that
me.
Allison was in the chat. I don't know if she's still in here. My girl.
And Rowdy seems excited. So, and again, your
Yes.
Instagram and your Geek the F Out are in the description. So please go over there, subscribe to their channel, watch tomorrow, and have a blast here. Oh wait, hold on.
There
Allison
we go.
says Lawrence only listens enough to know when he can start talking again. You are one to talk, Allison.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say.
like that is pot meat kettle, all right? And
Yeah.
see, look at this. Even when Kayla is laughing, going, yeah, like there have been times that we have just all stopped talking. The only person that I can think that has stopped a stream of 9 to 10 guys more than you is my daughter when she just shows up and starts talking. On the clubhouse, and you watch 10 guys just stop talking because they're like, wow, wow.
That's
Um,
funny.
so as you were in the middle school, again, it sounds like you weren't big into playing with toys and everything.
Mm-mm.
You were outside playing. What were
Yeah, I
you?
was outside and then I played sports. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so what did you do like through middle school? Like were you?
Yeah, I
I don't know how I was about to say it, but I was about to say, did you do sportsy? And that is nothing in the English language.
sportsy? Is that what you said?
Sometimes your
I
mind is
think
thinking way quicker.
were you thinking of saying were you sporty and then combine that with
I
sports?
don't know what I was thinking. I was
I
trying
don't
to
know
somehow
either.
get to you being a fan of the 49ers because we've talked about
Hmm.
that. So I don't know how I got there, but I did. I
I
didn't
don't
even have to
either.
say anything, but I wouldn't embarrass myself anyway.
Yeah, so I played a lot of sports in middle school, and then I like I mentioned before, I was definitely a lot more introverted and shy as a kid. Um oh, I don't think yeah, Mark, I used to hang out in the clubhouse a lot, and I
Yeah.
would be the only girl, and then we'd perfectly position everyone else around me.
Sometimes
Yep.
Allison would be there.
Allison would be there too, and then the guys would be surrounding both of us because have to do that. Um, but what was I saying? Um, sports. ADHD, and I'm gone.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Oh, I was very introverted, so I did the sports, I did the altar serving, I did the playing the flute in the band. Yeah, I did a lot of that. I also just what?
And then one time at
Like
band camp,
one time at band camp. No, I never did band camp, sadly. That would have been fun. Yeah, I was a pretty straight edge kid. I mean, I think just part of like having older parents, and my dad was very like traditional, like, Catholic household, going to Catholic school, all that kind of stuff. I was a really good kid, and I just, I also was a really good student, so studied a lot. I had to work hard at it. It was never easy for me. I did really well in school, but yeah, I wasn't one of those people that could like, just like skate by and somehow get good grades, no pun intended. Yeah, I was very into that, but yeah, I didn't really, yeah, it was mostly just like sports and that kind of stuff. Also just like specifically middle school, there was a lot of shit going on in my family at the time. So my dad's dad had passed away when I was in second grade. And then his mom, we had to deal with for pretty much from then until she passed away the year before 8th grade.
had to deal with.
Yeah, she was the devil incarnate. To really get into it, she was I know it's kind of crazy to say that about someone's grandma, but she was not a
No,
good
I
person.
know. I
Not a good person.
I fully get it. Just because someone is family does not make them a good person.
Nope.
And sometimes you go, how did they deal with this person for so long?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know
like,
how my dad dealt with her for so long, or her husband, my grandpa.
yeah,
Like,
and those are the ones you just, especially like the husband. Like kids
mhm.
don't really have a choice to
Yeah.
an age. Like,
Yeah.
but the significant other that you're like,
Yeah.
wow, how did you do that?
Yeah. And from what I remember of my grandpa and from what my dad has told me, like he seemed like fairly normal, like good human, and I'm like, how did you deal with her? And it's funny because obviously I knew her at her end of her life. She was 92 when she passed away. But I've talked to people that knew her when my dad was younger, and they were like, nope, she's the same way. She was the same way.
Oh, wow. Because
Yeah.
again, there are a lot of people that they get crankier over time. And
Yes.
we hear
They
that,
get cranky in their old age. She had dementia. She had a brain tumor, I think in the 80s, that she had
Ooh,
removed. But like before that, she was still like that. I'm sure that stuff didn't help. But yeah, she
I
was
know, like my grandmother on my mom's side, so my mom's mom, uh, she got older, and of course, she lost, my mom. My mom died when she was 38, so, she lost her, youngest daughter at a very young age. And as she got older, she got grumpier, but I would hear like, yeah, she was always kind of grumpy. Then
mhm.
my dad's mom, 4'9", 100% Mexican. I mean, you want to talk about a fiery woman that would whip every single person in this chat all at once.
I'm
Um,
sure.
yeah, and like she was awesome. I'm not saying my other
Yeah.
grandmother wasn't, but she was awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
but you crossed her, which I
Oh
never
yeah.
crossed her, but I've seen people
Yeah.
cross her, and you went, wow, yeah, like
Don't cross.
don't mess with
Yeah,
that.
it's funny. It was definitely the dichotomy of grandmas because my other grandma, she was the best. Like she really is like for me to be the person I am today. And unfortunately she passed away when I had just turned like 17, I think.
Okay.
But she was great. She wasn't your typical grandma, and that's part of the reason why I loved her, and I like, always aspire to be like her because she also didn't give a fuck. Talking about people who didn't give a fuck. She would wear
Yeah.
like red high tops, and she would always have like she would wear crew neck sweatshirts all the time, and they would have just like funny stuff on them or just like brightly colored clothes. And, she was just like all about, comfort over style at the end of the day, which is how I think. Like, I live in t-shirts. Yeah, she was a badass, and she like traveled the fucking world by herself, and she was super artistic. Like, I have a bunch of just like doodles that she would do. I have them in my room now, and she was just like super talented. Um and just, yeah, she would just let me be me at the end of the day. And I think that was great, especially like, growing up, going to private Catholic school, having like more traditional parents, and like having this outlet, because I would spend like 2 days a week after school hanging out with her for like, I think most of elementary school. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with her. Also, hi Brick.
So Thanos, I don't remember you telling me any stories like this when you were on. I thought my mom was sweet, but I've also seen her chase a man down with a baseball bat.
I'm sure she had a good reason though.
Yeah. Eternian Royalty is jumping in here. We have Nolan, which now makes this Toy Tube official. Brick really wanted me to say his name, but Kayla was going on. And I know Allison says that I'm only quiet enough till I can talk again, but Kayla is no better.
Yep.
But that's fine because
yeah.
it's really boring if you have someone on who isn't going to talk.
Yeah.
We've all listened to radio shows where they have a guest on.
Oh my gosh.
Tell the host is just like, why are
They're
you
trying to like
here? Yeah, you're like
pull it out of them.
I'm sure you probably listen to some sports out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you like sports.
I do.
Dan Patrick
like
and
the
Jim Rome.
The sportsies.
Sportsy Kayla. I want that as your new name tomorrow.
Okay.
So when you got into high school,
what
would you just continue to play sportsy?
I played
what
softball.
Sport did you play? What sports
I played softball.
Okay.
All throughout high school. I wanted to play volleyball, but unfortunately I am also in the short club. So, which is fun now because my roommate, she plays volleyball, so I get to go and watch her all the time, and she kicks ass. So it's fun because, yeah, if I had a choice, I probably would have chose volleyball over softball. I mean, I loved softball too, but I think I loved volleyball more. Don't tell my dad that because he like made a batting cage in our yard for me.
Oh, wow.
And like got just like super into it. I mean, because it was a general contractor for a long time, so he literally made the batting cage for me, and would get all the equipment and stuff. Yeah, so yes, the old pull-out method.
That doesn't always work. I'm just saying, all right? I'm just saying that doesn't always work.
No.
I'm not sure what you youngins actually think. It doesn't always work.
But yeah, mostly did sports. Yeah, also just like very into my studies. Was involved in a lot of different clubs at my high school. Did a lot of like community service work because we like were required to at our high school, but I still did other stuff on top of that.
Yeah, this whole community thing, this community service, like both my kids had to do it, and my son, it was like to the end. And my daughter she's in 10th grade right now, and I'm pretty sure she is well past all of it, and she continues to do more because she wants the tassel that goes on it. She's the one that wants the 4.0. She's trying to get all A's. She wants
I think I graduated with the 4.2 or 3 or something like that. Because if you do, I forget if it's like honors or AP, then like they count as higher or whatever.
And she's doing all honors, AP, and she's in all these special classes. And you guys can tune in next week and find out.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, when she was going in from middle school to high school, we had to go there. We had to go down to the school assembly for everything. And they're telling us like what needs to be done. And I've said to Susan, my ex, I was like, did did you sign up for any of this? Did you get an email? And she was like, no, I didn't. We called her over because it was due like that Friday and it was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And we call her over like once they stopped talking. We're like, you didn't give us anything. And Olivia goes, Mom, don't you remember when I asked you for your email? I already did everything. I go, let's just call. And she called the next day. And Susie called me and goes, yep, she did everything. Like,
Yeah.
so
That was like me too, like with applying to like colleges and stuff. Like I just did everything on my own. Yes, it is from SF Fan Expo. That was a lot of fun. I also met Mark Hamill there. No big deal. And William Shatner.
I also met Mark Hamill, no big deal, and William
Yeah.
Shatner.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that one
It
was
was a big weekend. I
I
was
did-
paying it off for like almost a year because they had payment plans. So yeah.
And Action Fig's the same. Punk is our community service.
You're not wrong.
I get it. Charlotte jumping in here. And then Todd is impressed with your 4.2.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I feel like I definitely could have done better. I feel like by senior year, I was slacking off a little bit, especially senior year, but you know, I still had to work pretty hard to get my grades for
I feel
sure.
like that's how Olivia feels. Where, I mean, she has all A's and she got a C minus in something, and she's not like beating herself up over it, but she knows she wants to do better. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, if I got like 2 B's and an A and the rest were C's, I'm like partying all the way. Like I didn't
Yeah.
fail any classes, but we'll just say
Yeah.
there were some that just barely passed.
Yeah.
There were some that just barely
That's so
passed.
true.
And-
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely me in college.
And Ronnie, I'm with you, man. We all slacked our senior year. Like I took the
Yeah.
easiest. I was mad because my senior year was the first year they wouldn't let you take government till your senior year because everyone before that
Oh,
had
yeah.
all blow off classes. And of course, we're all like, yeah, that's the whole purpose of getting through high school, to get to the point where we have blow off classes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you definitely had a little more, yeah, I don't know if I would call them blow off classes because my school was still pretty hard, but easier, I guess, classes senior year. Or you had more, what the fuck? Why can't I think of the word? You had more options of classes you could choose, essentially. So, yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear Roman in the back.
I can.
Scratching.
Roman. We
If I
want to
call
see
him
the
over,
nugget.
if I call him over, he's gonna want to go outside, and I have to yell for my son. But hold on, Roman, come
Maybe
here.
later.
Come here, buddy. Roman.
This is what we're all here for, to see the
Roman,
dog.
stop scratching.
I mean, that's why I'm here.
He's
Roman.
He's odd.
He's like, no.
You gonna come here? Come here.
Roman.
Come here. Come over. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, yeah.
The baby. Oh,
Everyone
he's
loves you.
cute.
Let me
Oh my
open
God, that
my
was great.
door really quick here.
Okay. I'll keep
Anyway,
everyone
if you guys are
entertained.
new, that's Roman. Get out of the garbage, you dumbass.
I'm guessing there's a Roman emoji because looking at StreamYard, all I see is :Roman.
Yes, there is a Roman emoji, and for some odd reason,
Yes.
StreamYard can't figure out how to put it in there,
Yeah.
which sucks. There's actually, if you're a channel member, when you hit a specific, I think it might be 6 months, you get the Roman icon, and this guy right here, 3-star, he wanted to change the name that he was going by. And he was so upset because he was just about to hit it. So he had to restart all over.
Oh, no. Even if you change your name, why would that change
he had a different account. He had a whole different, he had like 2 different YouTube accounts. And he wanted to use that one. And he was like so disappointed.
Oh.
Here's
Mr.
Travis. Wonderful jumping in
AKA here. Bosa. Even though I don't like Bosa anymore. It's fine.
Like, because he left?
No, because he supports shitty people.
Oh, come on! You cannot judge people for who they vote for. Don't be that person, because then you're everything. And I'm not going to talk politics, but then you're everything that you hate. All right?
Sure, Jan.
All right? I'm just saying. Don't be that. That's the reason why we are free in this country. Anyway, that's the most we're getting into politics ever on this thing.
I was going to say.
Although I will make fun of politicians by what they do, but it's nothing political.
They deserve to be made fun of because they're all crazy.
They all do really stupid things.
Yes,
like become politicians.
Yes. I could never.
No, we are not
me.
So afflicted. We're not talking politics, but when you say we're
not,
all I hear is we are laughing when you hear Anchorman.
Oh.
He kind of like just tells you what they're doing. Yes, believe me. I get this from the skate park and the guys at the skate park, where I'm the one that has to be like, hey guys, hey dude, no, come on, look at this. There's a screw sticking out, and they're like, oh yeah, Eldad here. I've seen.
It's funny because I'm called Mama Kayla, or Mama, my last name, because I'm always the mom of the group.
Silver's not your last name, is it? I probably shouldn't have even asked that.
No, it's not my last name.
I'm not going to ask your last name because you obviously don't want it. And that's fine. I was like...
a lot of people already know it, but, it's fine.
Well, I'm sure if I asked off screen, you would have no problem.
Yeah.
But again, not everyone...
Women on the internet.
I feel like I feel like I have said way too much about myself, my family, when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I guess I also never thought I'd get to this point. You also don't think that your daughter's just going to make herself part of the show, to the point that you have sound drops like this.
Welcome to the creamery.
Or
fucking Phil Collins.
All right.
I love Phil Collins.
I do too. It has nothing to do with not liking Phil Collins.
I know.
You didn't know the story?
He's great. I've seen him in concert twice, actually. I don't think I know the story, no.
So this all came about. I tell the story now more than the flag story. I had Gaz on, and somehow Phil Collins came on, and it came up, and then the whole fucking Phil Collins thing. So we would always listen to Disney music at dinner. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, there was a time that it seemed like Phil Collins was the only person that did Disney movies.
As he should.
Okay, well, whatever. But and it turned into like my other kids, my oldest, my stepdaughter, and my son. They have no respect to not swear around me, even though I asked them not to. Olivia, on the other hand, she won't, just because. Even though their mom lets them, that's the reason why. But I said, fucking Phil Collins. He does like every Disney movie. And I said, that's the only time that you can, not that I haven't heard her swear, but I'm like, that's when you can say it. And it became a thing, fucking Phil Collins. So it doesn't matter if Genesis is on or Phil Collins, we're driving in the car, I hear it, I'll turn it up and I'll look at her and she'll be like, fucking Phil Collins. And now I'm at the point that I just want to get to the point that I get a message from his rep being like, what is up with this?
You're like, no, it's in a good way.
Exactly. The only reason I have to explain it is everyone's like, I'm like, oh, it's not that we don't like Phil Collins,
Yeah.
If it was
I figured that's what it was. I figured it was something like that.
Again, if she said, I love Phil Collins, nobody would be, there wouldn't be a story to it.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have Merman jumping in here saying, well, hey, everyone. Hey, everybody. My name's Merman. I'd laugh every time I see him. All right, so you play sports through high school. You get a 4.02, which is pretty damn
4.2.
4.2.
Not 0.2. It's going down.
I'm sorry. It's still an A, all right? I was taught that there are no such things as A pluses. There are only A's. That's how my dad was. Though my daughter was probably completely different. Because if I said the same thing to her, 4.02, she'd go, oh, I mean 4.2 if that's what she had.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you go to college, or did you go right into the workforce?
I went to college. I also went to a private Catholic college in the Bay Area, and yeah, it was great. It was not my first choice. They gave me a lot of financial aid, so that was great. But I loved my experience there. I definitely did not do as well as I did in high school. It was definitely it, it was definitely hard, not because of like the only child reason, because someone has said that to me before as to why they thought I struggled my freshman year of college. It was a lot more so to do with like the stuff that my family had gone through, and like 18 years of that, and then like looking at your parents for guidance on like how to like emotionally process, react, respond, handle situations, and was definitely not the healthiest way to go through those things, process those things and whatnot. So in college it was a little hard for me. Yeah, it was just harder for me. So I didn't do as well, especially freshman year. I did better after that. And then like when I found my major and everything, it helped after that. But it was definitely a struggle freshman year for sure. And yeah, even like as independent of a person as I am, it like I think like the emotional aspect is what got me. And I definitely got caught up in just like, college life in general, and like not focusing as much on my studies. So yeah.
Explain to Afflicted Studios how you can get over a 4.0. Because Afflicted Studio, I said the same fucking thing. You can't get over 4.0. That's an A. But I was told wrong by my ex and my daughter. So
it must be a recent thing in the last maybe like 20 or 30 years. I don't know how long it's been a thing, but yeah, basically if you have
it could have been around my time. I just know I would not have known. Okay?
It's basically like we were talking about before, if you take AP or honors classes, if you get A's in them, they count as like so much higher. I can't remember how much higher. So then when you like average them out, it brings it above a 4.0, essentially.
Like I said, I said the exact same thing, but whatever. If it gets you a better scholarship, you want to go to the University of Michigan.
Oh yeah.
You want to be a lawyer. That is an expensive school, even for in-state. More power to you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, look at this. The Charlotte.
I didn't even know there was
a
4.0. Honestly, it's just it's so fucked. Like the whole both the GPA and like SATs and everything, like just defining people by those numbers and those scores, because I did not do well in the SATs. Despite doing really well in school, I did not do well in the SATs. I was shit at test taking, which is probably why I didn't do as well as I could have in high school, and especially in college. Like I just was shit at taking tests, which I'm realizing now is because I am neurospicy, as they say, but did not know that at the time. So yeah, it was definitely a struggle.
Yeah, so SCS.
Yeah, I think you can get
in the 90s. The
until
honors class as A's got 5.0. So I think what it is, because the honor. The reason why no one has a 5.0 is because there's not all honor classes for everything. So you're never going to get a 5.0. So even if you get A's and everything, unless you have honors classes, you could end up with, let's say, like a 4.5. But you can't get a 5.0 because there's no honors gym and stuff like that you have to take. And we've talked way too much about school and grade point averages that are higher than my bank account right now.
To answer Afflicted Studios question, I think I got like a 18 something, which it's out of 2,400. to be clear. So yeah,
I
did not do well. And I took it like 3 times. I think the first time I took it, I got like a 16 something. Because reading comprehension is not my strong suit. ADHD, thank you very much. If I read a sentence, could not tell you what it just said, unless I'm reading like a Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, then I can remember that. But like anything else, can't remember. Yeah.
Alice says Neurospicy is now my new nickname.
Yep.
All right.
Neurospicy.
And Rowdy says, reminding me I need to do my sets. I must be talking about gym. All right.
Oh, maybe,
So
yeah.
what did you major in college?
I was a earth science major. I went into college wanting to do pre-med. So my college didn't have a pre-med like major. Actually, most colleges don't. But what you can do is you usually have options to take or options to have a major that include most of the classes that you would need for med school. Yes. Yeah, perfect. That's why I use it.
It looks like it's a known term from you.
Yeah. I forget where I heard it. I heard from someone. I can't take credit for it. But yeah, so basically you could do like biochem, biology, chemistry, I think it was, and that would include most of the classes that you would need to apply to med school. So I was originally biochem, and then like halfway through my sophomore year, I was like, I don't think I can do this. And I knew I still wanted to do science. And so I went through the like, we had like a booklet that had all the majors and minors you could do.
So you're trying to say your crash cart only took you so far?
It did. It did.
And you're like, why is the stethoscope not blue, yellow, and red? I don't understand. Why can't I use this one?
Yeah, I think ultimately looking back at it, it was the classes that did it, but I think subconsciously I'm just such a empath, and I don't think I could have handled that. You know, it's a lot to deal with on the daily basis, especially because I wanted to be a pediatric orthopedic surgeon. So working with kids is a lot. So yeah. But yeah, so then I turned and I was like, I still want to do science, was looking through the majors, and I was like, oh, earth science, duh. I love everything like rocks, geology, like natural disasters, all that kind of stuff. I had my favorite book as a kid that I would always take out from the library that I don't know how I didn't get in trouble for, because it was like the only thing I would take out from the library, because you had to take out books like every week or something like that, was like a book about rocks and minerals. So, which I still have it somewhere. I don't know where though. It's a good question.
Right. 1 second here.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Afflicted Studios with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Saying, let's talk about them toys in the background. Hey, we're gonna get there. I promise you, Afflicted Studios. You've seen the show before. We'll talk about these
this
toys.
Is the other book. Was Planet Earth, which it's definitely has a bit of wear and tear to it. It's hard to see, but
you didn't steal it.
I think this is the one. Oh, yeah,
did you?
definitely a little. No, this is one that I think I made my parents buy. So it has like all the different processes and yeah, lots of rocks and minerals and stuff in there. So yeah, it all made sense. So I was an earth science major, and I was actually the first one to graduate with that major from my college, because they just added it as a major my freshman year. So that was kind of cool.
And then we have, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Cirrus Lupin or Curious Lupin. I know I've seen what?
Is it Lupin?
Well, maybe. I know I've seen them recently, and I just love the fact that he has Bennett from Commando. John. This is right before he gets like I don't know if have you ever seen Commando? This is right before he gets a pipe thrown through him.
Oh damn.
Hey, no big deal at all.
C-Res Lupin. Yeah. Or
C-Res
Lupin.
Lupin.
Lupin?
Perfect pronunciation the first time.
Do you remember what you said the first time?
No. Sirius Lupin. That works for me. Yeah,
It's like the two characters from Harry Potter. Perfect. Sirius and Lupin had a baby.
I've never seen Harry Potter. I tried watching it. My oldest she loved it, and I tried watching it, and I just could not get into it. There was nothing.
You need to read it. That's
okay. First off, if it's not good enough to be put into a movie, it's not good enough to read. I don't read books.
Wait, that logic doesn't make sense though.
It makes perfect sense. If it wasn't good enough,
not...
if it's not good enough to be turned into a movie, it's clearly not a good enough book to read. So why would I waste?
But it is a movie.
Exactly. But I didn't think the movie was good.
Which one did you see?
I tried watching from the beginning. I had no interest in it.
That's not true though. That the books always have way more information than movies.
I hate reading. I might as well.
This is a fun read though.
But reading puts me to sleep. Like I start reading, unless if I was like reading like
We're
muscle
Audible.
magazines,
Yeah, I love
skateboarding.
Audible.
Yeah, like I would just go right to sleep. We got Kiwi GI Customs and Collection jumping in here. We have Bull 80 jumping in here saying, "Hey, Punk, Silverkayyy, and chat. Hope all is well." All right. And Charlotte says, "Oops, it's a hard watch. I watched it with my kids." And you know what? Or tried to. So that's how exactly. I felt the exact same thing.
I think it's different because like I grew up with it too. Like I watched them as a kid, so and I read them as a kid.
You know, and there's a lot of people that will go ahead and say that younger people that have never watched the original Star Wars. That's blasphemy.
Yeah.
And here's Ed saying the guy was almost 50 before he saw Raiders. He's not cultured. But I've seen Red 100 times. And I've seen Midnight Madness. All right. So, did you graduate from college with your geology? Like, what degree was it?
Or science. I mean, it's basically geology.
I like rocks.
I had a big rock collection as a kid, which also my Nana, the good grandma, she got me into. So,
not the bad one. She just threw rocks at you.
Yes.
Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Pop Blender with the $10 super chat saying, "I'm just slipping this under the door for rent. Punk, spend it on another Snake Armor pre-order. I'll be spending it on and getting my car fixed eventually."
Oh shit.
Yeah, the whole shocks blew. And I'm like,
fuck.
I have a work vehicle that I'll be using for a while now.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Again, 5 years ago, I'd be screwed because I'd have to figure out a way to get it taken care of right away because we used to drive our own vehicles, but now we have work vehicles.
Yeah.
Why don't you stay downstairs?
Roman.
Come up here again.
Because he's like, she's a dog lady. I know it. Oh. Hi. My dog voice is going to come out.
People sitting here and like, if I'm petting him, he's fine, but I can't sit here and pet him the whole time.
Yeah.
He's usually pretty good back there, but I let him out like right before I go on because I
Yeah.
know what he's gonna do. Like everyone loves Roman.
Yeah.
He's the star of the show.
The How old is he?
He's 8.5.
Oh.
So he'll be like, what? Wait. Yeah, I think he should be 9 in September.
I forget. Have you had him since he was a puppy?
I agreed to take him when he was like 9 months old, 8 or 9 months old.
Okay.
Someone was
Okay.
getting rid of him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they were looking for someone.
Rehoming.
Yeah, because they had
Mhm.
2 other dogs and they were kind of aggressive towards him, but he was getting bigger.
Mhm.
But he was cage trained, he was potty trained, he had all his
Oh,
shots.
wow.
They got him fixed before I took him.
Oh, that's great.
They had the cage, they had food. I mean, again,
You got
everything
a
that
great deal.
Oh, and it was free. He was free.
Oh, even better.
And it was all by mistake too, because it was right after my ex and I had split up. And I asked the girl that posted it about the dog, and she goes, "You want the dog?" She goes, "Are you interested?" And I said, "No." And now this is a time where if I didn't have my kids, I got off work, I went and did whatever I wanted. I didn't have to come home. I
Mhm.
wasn't tied here. I'd go skateboarding and do whatever. And I don't know why I asked, but then I was up at her work again because she worked in a restaurant. I'd go in the morning on Sundays when I didn't have my kids and eat for free or whatever. We chat, and they did outdoors. And the girl that was giving the dog away, she also worked there. And Tina's like, she goes, "That dog's here if you want to see him." I'm like, "No, I don't."
Mm.
And then when she came back in, I was like, "Yeah, let me see him." And after I met him, and he was just so well maintained and well mannered. I said,
Yeah.
"Well, if you can come up here next week when I have my kids, and if he's good with my kids, and they're, that they like him, then we can do something." And sure enough, I brought him up there, and they fell in love. I'm like, "Well, he's ours if we want him." And they didn't believe it. Now I dropped the kids off with their mom. At this point, their mom still was scared of pit bulls.
Mm.
And I was at the skate park, and the text started flowing in, yelling,
Oh,
screaming at me if
no.
anything ever happens. Now, let me tell you something. She absolutely loves that dog. That dog, like when very few people does he get that excited over. And again, he's not her dog. Like we wouldn't have him together. She absolutely loves the dog. He's now her whole attitude towards pit bulls has changed, which is good. But I make sure to always point it out when he's all in love. I'm like, "She didn't even want you."
Yeah.
And my kids do it too.
Oh, that's funny.
And but yeah, I remember. Yeah, the best mistakes are free ones. You mean like kids?
LOL. I
That's
love
what the
the
pull-out
pickles.
method will get you. Just so you know.
LOL. LOL.
All
Yeah.
right,
No,
so
I love pit bulls. They're such loyal
man,
dogs.
I grew up and I only had like a Shih Tzu, and she was like 18 before she passed away, and she was given to us when I was probably like 6 or 7, because it was my grandmother's dog, and she gave us to us. She gave her to us like within like a year or so. So I always had a small dog. I never had big dogs, and so he's like the first big dog that I had, because we also had a pit bull, not pit bull, a Bichon Shih Tzu mix that my ex
Okay.
has, and we have a good relationship. So she goes
Yeah.
out of town, she drops him off. I sometimes drop him off over there. Sometimes she has to come over here and just watch him. But they tolerate each other. They exist together. That's about it.
That's funny.
But I always just look at the pit bulls. I'm like, they're not even cute. And then you get one,
Oh,
and you're like the whole demeanor.
yeah.
When you see how
They're
they
babies.
are,
They're
they are
babies.
huge babies. But you know that they will protect like
Oh, yeah.
no other dog.
Yeah.
Like if they
Yeah.
like, I've seen where
Yeah, because they're so loyal.
yeah, like he sleeps with me, but he won't come into my bed until I'm done. So when my daughter's here, he goes up with her. Like he sleeps with her, and then he'll come into my room when he hears everything is turned off. So like that's the person he protects more than anyone. But like I'm his person. But I've been here when my ex is here, and him, like her and my daughter were like wrestling around, and he came down and he was growling, but not in a bad way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he knew, but you could tell like, I'm going to protect her, so you better stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I remember I tried doing it, messing around with her, and then he started humping my leg, and I'm like, no, that's not what you were supposed to do. That's not, no.
He's like, but I love you so much. That's so funny. Yeah, it's funny because where I grew up, there was a bunch of pit bulls down the street, but unfortunately the owners just like did not take good care of them and they were always getting out. And unfortunately they did bite some people, and like they unfortunately, just have that taboo and stigma against them, which really sucks. And like especially in the last like 10 years since I've been working with dogs, I've had a lot of pit bull mixes or like staffy mixes that I've worked with, and they are some of the sweetest dogs. One of my clients, she was a pit bull GSP lab mix, and easily the like sweetest, nicest dog I've ever met. And like it was great because like I started taking care of her like just a couple months after her mom fostered her. And I just remember like when I would first give her treats, because like pretty much any dog, like I'm gonna feel their teeth touch my fingers at some point when giving them a treat. I would never ever, like she had the softest palate. But it's sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I've taken videos of me feeding him tater tots, and he is super soft. Like he's super soft. Now, if I give my Bichon Shih Tzu mix, the one that my ex has, oh my god! Like I only gotta wash my finger. Like, oh my god, dude! Like no one's taking it from you. Just calm down, Sheldon. You're just gonna get it. All right.
Yeah, it's so true. And like, I've just fallen in love with them. And out of my experience with dogs, it's very much how you raise them, how you treat them. Obviously bigger dogs are going to be stronger and like have stronger jaws too. So like if they do bite someone, they're going to do more damage, but it is actually completely a myth that pit bulls have locked jaws, because that's a big thing. That is totally untrue. They just have strong jaws. Same with any other big breed. Same with like German shepherds, huskies, golden retrievers. Like all those dogs have very strong jaws. And I've seen way more aggression and violence from every other dog breed, pretty much, especially the small ones. The small ones think they're so big and so mean.
I like everything that you just said there. Like everything that you said, like the small dogs that are always aggressive, when they bite you, you laugh.
Yeah.
And if they break the skin, it's because they usually have like just sharp teeth because of how little they are. But if he gets mad or even accidentally bites, like my son's been like, he tried biting me. I'm like, he didn't try biting you. Or he act like would he accidentally bite someone, because he's never been aggressive towards a person. Like if he bit you, you would know. But he's never been. He bit you, but he didn't bite you. Big difference.
Yeah, I call that nibbing.
Yeah, and again, if he accidentally bites you, or like again, I don't know if you've probably seen it before. There's that one video where there's a little kid. He walks over and he smacks the pit bull, and he smacks it, and the parent just sat there and watched it, and the guy yelled at him, and then had to like grab the dog, and it was like, no, like. First off, it's not the kid's fault because it's a little kid. It's the parent's fault. But when that dog eventually attacks that kid, or any dog, because he's going to continue to do it, it's not the dog's fault, and they're going to be the ones put down, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And again,
it sucks. I've been bitten by a dog that I was walking, and it was not a pit bull. It was like a cattle dog. I don't know if it was a full cattle dog, but maybe a mix. But yeah, it was scary, but like it's totally how you raise them. And obviously if you rescue them, you know, it's a little trickier because, you know, who knows what
Yeah.
happened before. With that mix that I was just talking about, she was definitely heavily abused, but she showed zero aggression ever. But it definitely it breaks my heart because she, like, one of her eyeballs, like, it looked like she had glaucoma in her eyeballs because it was, or in her eyeball because it was
Yeah.
like hazy, but that was when she was younger. So it was definitely from some blunt force trauma, unfortunately, which I just hope whoever did that to her has the same thing happen to them. That's all I will say.
We have shiny plastic people jumping in here.
Hi, Chris.
Chris is awesome. I had him on.
Mm-hmm.
I had him on a while back, and
He's great.
yeah, he's funny too.
He is.
That always makes me laugh. So, all right. So you graduate with your rock degree.
Yes.
Rocks.
I do nothing with my rocks degree.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. So,
Yeah.
did you go into any field to do with rocks?
Nope.
And not drugs. I hope we're not talking.
No, not drugs. Drugs. No, I wanted to go to grad school. I wanted to do planetary geology, which is pretty much studying the geology of other planets. And I was like, I am going to be paying off my student loans until I die, so I don't want to get more of them. So I kind of fell into the pet care business and then made my own business out of it, and have just, like, created a whole network of clients. Some people that, like, were family friends, or like people of like parents of kids that I went to, like, school with. But it's definitely, like, expanded beyond that. And yeah, and then I was a family assistant for a little bit. I did WAG, which is a dog walking app, for a little bit, and I got some clients from that, so that also, like, upped my business.
So you basically
more.
went into what you're doing now right after college.
Mm-hmm.
So you
I
got
did.
you got a 4.2 in high school to
Yeah.
go work with rocks.
Yeah.
To only work with dogs. Good job.
Yep. Yep.
Good job.
I know. That education, all those student loans, so great.
I'll make sure Olivia watches this before. Be like, is this what you're gonna do? Because we can save a lot of money you going to University of Michigan.
Hey, I mean, see, like, I had a lot of grants and scholarships too. I definitely didn't have as many loans as I know. Some people,
You're
yes,
absolutely right. She's self-employed. She hit the dream.
I do love having that flexibility, for sure. For sure.
But you do have to make jokes about how hard you worked to go to college to do something that you didn't do. All right.
Yep. Oh yeah. Very typical. Very typical. I mean, I would one day love to have that, but that is not in the cards for me, unfortunately. You know.
There's a lot of things we all want to do that we just never get the chance to.
Yeah.
My dream of being a professional skateboarder ended. I don't see it happening, unfortunately.
Never know.
And my knees definitely say you're an idiot. So it's probably not going to happen. Toys are much easier on the knees. I tell all my friends, I'm like, I've never sprained an ankle reviewing a toy. I've never said, man, I feel really sore after talking about toys. So you create this business.
Mm-hmm.
When do you start collecting toys, or do you? Like, how do you get into this whole hobby? Let's be honest. Like this, most of the people watching, like you said, I grew up on G.I. Joe. Right? I mean, I don't know if you guys ever heard, I have the USS Flag, my childhood one. There's a big, long story. Maybe one day I'll tell it. So, once you're a collector, if you're a collector, you're a collector. I talk about, I used to get everyone's old skateboard and I hang it on my wall. and I was collecting skateboards, but I didn't even realize that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I've always said collectors are the worst parents because then you think your kids need everything, even and you're searching, and they're like, I don't care, and you're like, but you're missing one of them. You have to have them all. So
Wow, that's okay.
So
Go ahead.
how do you get into, like, do you collect other things that lead into it? Because
So it's
we
funny
see
you
the seahorse there.
say that. Yes, the seahorse. We'll talk about that. It's funny you say that with your parents because my dad's dad was a like pack rat to the extreme. He had
Okay.
50 of everything. When we sold their house, before that we had a huge garage sale that was literally Saturday, Sunday, every weekend for like 4 weeks, I think it was. So like long time. And we still had so much stuff left over, but he had like 100 bikes, like 50 of every tool you could think of. And I think that definitely passed on to my dad because my dad really does not like to get rid of things either, which then passed on to me, which I've gotten better with age. But I definitely, like with the rock and mineral collection I had as a kid, like I collected that. I collected the Techron cars. Trying to think. Oh, I had a huge sticker collection. Was very into stickers.
Oh man, I can't even know what else about a sticker collection because there's books that are made to, and I remember going.
I would put them in
school.
photo albums. I think I
Yes.
still have them somewhere. I have
And
like
then you trade for them.
Oh, I didn't trade for them. I just did
Oh,
it
you
all
didn't
for
trade other
myself.
kids like with other
No.
stickers and stuff? Oh my
Oh, I
God.
did have Pokemon cards too. I definitely collected Pokemon cards. Did I know how to play the Pokemon game? Nope. I just collected them. I still have those somewhere as well. But yeah, I think collecting things has always been part of my life. And I think I just posted this today on my private Instagram, like something about like the like autistic urge to like collect things in general. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty true. Like, or just like any kind of neurodivergence. I think that's very true. And yeah, the neurospicy urge to collect all the things. Yeah, so I've been going to Comic Cons pretty much since I graduated college. And I would get things here and there, just like, I don't know, cool things from different fandoms that I love. Not necessarily toys, but other things in general. A lot of them I have behind me. So I'd get things there. So I already had a bunch of stuff. Like this white shelf has like always been filled with things the last like 5-6 years, I would say. But I will tell you right now that there is a name to the reason why I got into toy collecting, and his name is Jay Glackfelter, aka Geek Dead Life. I've been friends with him for a long time. He used to do a Lost podcast, which I was part of that like community, or still part of that community. That he did like while Lost was airing. And yeah, I became a part of it like more in the community after I graduated college. And then I think, yeah, it was like fall 2021. Like I hadn't watched his channel before that because I think he started in like 2019. And they always do these meetups every year in Raleigh, where a bunch of us get together and just hang out and like, for the weekend and drink and just have fun. And I think it was like after one that like I was like looking at his toy collection. I'm like, this is actually like kind of cool. And I started watching his shows.
No girl ever that I've met.
Well, like I also, the way he has them displayed like was really cool because I've seen people with toy collections and like I don't know, it just seems so like the way they have them displayed is just like not that cool to look at. It's just like I don't know, to each their own.
Yeah.
but yeah, so I started watching, and like at first it was just like I would just kind of like mess with him in the chat, and then like I started like learning more, and just yeah, and then I think by like mid 2022 I like bought it was actually this one. Oh my gosh. I think it's Plastic Addict who made this. It's the Spangler. It's like kind of see-through, kind of sparkly, kind of iridescent. And I love the toys that are like different like this, that don't just like look like the person or whatever it's trying to be. So I got that one. I think it's called the Ghost Dirt Farmer because they couldn't say Egon because it's not, Hasbro. So I got that, and then it was just all downhill from there. I now have way too many things, and I have a bunch of boxes in my garage that I got last year that I haven't opened because I was dog sitting so much last year that I just had never had time to deal with them.
Does it bother you that you have stuff that you don't open?
I will open them. I just haven't.
But I'm saying, does it bother you that you have stuff that you haven't had a chance? I'll go nuts. Like I will go nuts.
One of the reasons why I'm not home enough to think about it.
But see, one of the reasons why, for me with my channel, doing the reviews, things got out early, was I can't sit on the toys. Like I have to open them. Like I've spent this money on them. I want to play with them, and now that I'm doing reviews and I'm doing them in a way that I want to review them as I open them, so you're seeing it firsthand. So I have to get it open. Like I got 2 things from Hello Dope Toys yesterday. I'm like, I had to open it up.
Yeah.
And do the review.
Trust me, I definitely want to. Like I said, I'm just not home enough, and I've been home more recently, but most of that time was done cleaning and organizing my room because after just I probably spent only 2, maybe 3 months max home last year. So yeah. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so I got this, and then yeah, I've gotten a lot of other things. I got my first oh my god, why am I blanking on the name? The Hasbro
HasLab? This one?
HasLab. There we go.
Okay, because actually
not the Proton Pack. I got into it after the Proton Pack, and I'm still so sad about that to this day. But I did get the 2 in the box, the trap and the meter, which are still in the box in my garage right now.
And then Bobby Wool is asking, are you going to Sac Toy Con next month?
Probably
Sacramento?
Not. Yeah, I'm guessing Sacramento. I was supposed to go to the San Jose Toy Show a couple weekends ago, but it was just wasn't able to make it happen. But hopefully we'll be going to Comic-Con again this year. We'll see.
So
we shall see.
So Mr. Mad just asked Kayla, if single, how do dates, is what he meant, react to your collection? So let's ask Mark. I think your collection is amazing, especially when I saw it in person.
He also has a lot of
especially how
toys.
It's organized. How is it organized?
So like this is all Lord of the Rings behind me. Normally I have my Lego Rivendell above it, but it is now plastic bags because I disassembled it recently because I wanted to make it again. So I disassembled it. And then like each shelf is a different thing. So like this is Ghostbusters, this is Stranger Things, this is all like Marvel. Those are just squishies, and then I have like Star Wars, Harry Potter is up there. And then that corner is Jurassic Park, and then I have another shelf over there which is like I got really into Doorables, which don't get into those. You don't want to know. Doorables, they're like Disney Doorables. They're like little tiny little guys. Well, they're really cute.
My daughter collects Stitch. Lilo and Stitch.
They have a lot of good Stitches.
Yeah. I mean, she like
Yeah.
all the Funko Pops. Like I buy so many Funko
Oh,
Pops.
yeah.
If it's Stitch, she wants it. And
I love Stitch. Is she excited for the live
yes,
action?
yes. She's like, we're going to
Yeah.
see that on this date, aren't we? I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll go that week. She is. And
Yeah.
when we first saw it a couple years ago, where they showed Stitch, it looked creepy. And she's like,
Yeah.
now
Like
this one here,
Sonic.
yeah, this one looks good.
Better.
This one
It looks
looks
better.
how Stitch is supposed to. But yeah,
Yeah.
she is. I think I told her she has to clean her room before we do the show next week. Because she's probably she loves it. Like she's the
Aw.
person that will go to all she'll go to any toy store with me. She'll hang out. She's 16. She will go to let's go
That's
to Target.
awesome.
Oh, I don't really want to go. I'm like, you're going. All right, fine.
Also, it's Target, so like
Yeah.
Target's amazing. You can get everything there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have like my Star Trek shelf, my Turtles, my Lost, and then at the bottom I have it's like half Corgi stuff, half Bob's Burgers stuff. And I think that's
Corgi?
pretty much
What is
everything.
Corgi?
Yep. Corgi, the dog.
Okay. Wait, what is that a
Mhm.
show?
No,
Or
Corgi,
just
the breed of
corgis in
dogs.
general?
Yes.
Okay.
These.
Well, I didn't. When you said corgi, that's what I was thinking the dog, but I didn't know if it was like maybe a show.
Oh no. Well, there's Ein, which is from oh my god, now I'm blanking on the name. I don't watch the show. Cowboy Bebop. It's an anime, but there's a corgi in it, and Mondo made a corgi like a figure of that corgi, and of course I have it. I have that one, and I have the like cherry blossom version that they made that's glow in the dark, which once again both of them are in my garage.
And yeah, I only know of Cowboy Bebop because it went on Netflix. People were happy with it, and then Netflix said, "Screw you." So I'm like, why would I waste my time watching something that isn't completed now?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna grab something quick.
So
From my corgi shelf.
but it is interesting to hear how you got into the toys and everything.
So guess who actually showed me these? Adam, highly articulated.
Oh,
Because
Adam.
one of his daughters is like super into corgis, and I think it was on the Clubhouse one time, and he was like, "Oh, like, have you seen these? You can get them on Amazon." And like it came with another breed. I think there's like a Frenchie in there. So there's like 4 you can get. So of course I got all of them. They're not all corgis. It's like a Frenchie, I think like a Dachshund, and I forget the other one.
So,
yeah.
so what would you say is the biggest thing you collect right now? Or is there is there any one thing that you focus on? Or are you just like, I see something? Because like for me, everyone knows it's G.I. Joe is obviously number one. I'm into like Operation Monster Force. I pick up things that I like, but there are some people that just they see something and that's what I'm gonna buy. They don't have to be all in. Is there anything specific that you're into, or are you just like
It's mostly, sorry about the sirens, by the way. It's mostly if I see it. How does it go for the Ariana Grande line?
wait,
Like I see it, I want
why
it.
couldn't break down your door? Because that would be awesome. I haven't had that happen on the show yet.
No, but there was actually, I don't know, it was like maybe like 2 years ago, there was like a SWAT team at the end of our street, and it was awesome. It was very exciting. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like they had like the speaker, and they're like, get out of the house, like blah blah blah. But yeah, it's funny because I like never have this window open, but my room was very hot. Yes, they're on their way. What was I just talking about? ADHD hit me again.
About what you're collecting? Like, is there anything?
Oh yeah, it's mostly like if I see it, I like it. Like especially stuff that's like different, like stuff like this.
Do you like translucent?
I would say
like translucent,
yes,
glow in the dark stuff.
Translucent and get
Translutkin? What is that?
Translucent. Just emphasis on the slute. And then Glow in the Dark, aka Get D. Yes. I love both of those things.
You
Yeah, it's funny. So like this one glows in the dark. There's a few. I mean, I have a lot that glows in the dark, but it's really funny when I turn my lights off and then like I'll just see spots of the glow in the dark, and I'm just like, but yes, I love that. I love I think I probably have the most Ghostbusters stuff, I think, which I have a lot of stuff from Phantasm Toys, which they're like a small toy maker that I know, and we've actually had Tony Taylor, who makes the toys, on
Yep.
our show before. He's awesome. I obviously have a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff, but I also have a lot of Marvel and then like a lot of Star Wars, I would say. And then I have Motu down below, which
I have not.
I unfortunately have a lot of Motu as well.
I have not heard GI Joe one time. I'm very.
I have one GI Joe.
And let me guess, it's a female.
Yep. She's somewhere down here. I think she fell. I have a shelf of like random things. So I have like
shelf.
my rainbow brights.
See?
I have my Wallace and Grommets. I have my this is my 100% soft. They're dumpster fires, and this one glows in the dark.
I have seen a lot of people have those.
Yeah. I have my April Ludgate from Parks and Rec with Champion that came together. I have Lil Sebastian.
I
have my Booberry down here. I have I know it's somewhere in here, but I can't see it. She's somewhere in here. I think she got knocked over. I don't know. My neck hurts.
Right. So I see the Captain America shield in the back.
Yes, that was from the Brave New World.
Is it
popcorn bucket?
Okay. Is it safe to say that if Chris Evans came in right now and said,
mm-hmm.
Kayla, I love you, on the show you would dump Mark?
Well, sure. To be fair, I'm poly, so like that wouldn't be an issue. So I already call Chris Evans my husband, so
I know, that's why I'm
yeah. Yes. Ovaries before broveries. No, so I would not dump him. But yeah, he's married now though, which so happy for him.
Oh, I can tell. He's married now. So happy for him.
Yeah, so happy. I mean, they were pretty cute because they dressed as Ghostbusters characters for Halloween a few years ago. I saw.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He is already my husband.
Well, you know, as long as you're good, and you know, as long as you guys, I don't care what you guys do in your personal life. It ain't my business, you know. All right, so let's go back about a year or so and talk about that seahorse back there. So if you guys are
more than a year ago, I think this was like November 2023, something like that.
All right, so if you guys aren't watching the Clubhouse, there's always stuff that happens. You know, when I hosted the Clubhouse, we had the Bobcat attack. You know, we've had people shitting on the show. That was my first one. Allison's
There's buttholes.
There have been people. There's just been a lot of stuff that's happened in the Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And on one of these, Kayla was showing off the seahorse from Aquaman, and was trying to get the stand to plug in.
There's a ball you have to put in the hole, and it would not go in the hole. And
how long? This went on for
too long.
at least a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
And
I would say about that.
The jokes that were flowing from it were just
Well, because also I would like go in the other room to like run warm water on it, and I would still have my audio on because I think I had it from my headphones, and I would just be like grunting and making these noises trying to get it in.
Oh,
I
we
had to
were
put like my
dying.
entire body weight on it for it to finally go in.
We were dying about that.
I need to like find those clips one of
And what was
these
the purpose
days
for even having the seahorse?
because it looks cool.
Okay, but it wasn't for like
It
because
was
you don't have a figure
Aquaman.
on it. There was no other reason.
No. It looks
The fact
fucking
that
awesome. Look at this. It's like shimmery, iridescent colored.
I saw enough of it that night that I never have to see it again.
Yeah, probably.
Again, like, if you're not watching the Clubhouse on Saturday, I haven't been on it all that much recently, but you really should.
Yeah.
There's so many characters that come through there, so much
Yeah.
so much personalities,
Mhm.
sometimes good, sometimes there's some people that I could take or leave that show up there. I'm not gonna say anything, but
You're not wrong.
my moderator Action Fakes, he probably knows which ones I like and don't like.
LOL.
Because they're probably the same people he doesn't like. Dave, that's just what it is. Grunting, trying to get it in.
It is me.
That's where it all came from. Like it
Yep.
was. Because who was? I think Adam was on it. Highly articulated.
Mhm.
Ed
Probably.
must have been on.
I think Brick, yeah, Ed was there.
Brick
Oz,
was on. Yeah, Brick was
obviously.
definitely on it.
I think Brick was there. I don't know. Probably just the usual.
I just
peeps.
told that I was part of that.
Yeah. It was great.
So where do you kind of see your collection going? Like do you see like your toy collecting going anywhere? Like what you do with it? Obviously, I've turned mine into.
Great question.
I can't say it is a job, but it is a hobby that pays me.
Yeah.
So,
I think I've gone through the phase of just buying too much just to like buy things that I liked. Yeah, and I think I've definitely gone to the place where I am a lot more picky with what I want, and also just like money wise, like I can't be spending like that again.
Financial wise, and then space wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I think I'm also getting to the point where I might start selling things, which is crazy. Yeah.
So when it comes to selling stuff, let me ask you, now I have a hard time selling stuff because everything that I buy because I want, not because it's what's new or what's cool. So anytime that I looked at what like I'm going to sell, hey, I'm not really displaying that anymore, or I don't really take pictures with it or whatever, I'm going to sell it. I look at it and every time I'm like, I don't want to, I bought this because I like it. Now,
Yeah.
Are you the same way, or do you kind of buy things when they're new and shiny?
That's the thing is like most of the stuff I'm fine with. I think there's probably only a couple things that it's like I basically already have it in either like a better, different, or like just like a form that I like more. Speaking of the corgis, since I got the Mondo, the regular and the like glow in the dark version,
How big
I
is the
think
Mondo one?
I don't know. It's still in its box. I think it's like this big.
That's not that big.
I don't have my own place. I still like have a roommate, so it's a little different.
Mark is going like, "What do you mean that's not that big? That's huge."
So I probably will sell like the regular version and keep the like cherry blossom glow in the dark version since that's different. So like stuff like that. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, it would only be things like that where I have multiples, or like if I end up getting something that's like in better condition, something like that. But I don't think I'm quite there yet. We'll see once I finally go through all those boxes in my garage. Might be different because I do need to get a new shelf for that corner because it's not as deep as I would like it to be. That's what they said.
Now, do you have everything organized in your garage? Like, do you know where it's at, or is everything just kind of like?
I just have a stack of boxes. Like, there's probably maybe 15 boxes. It's not that much.
Okay.
It's not that bad. I just put them in there a little over a month ago. When I was.
It's still in a place you pretty much know where it's at.
Oh yeah. It's like smack dab, like literally like right when you walk in, it's right ahead.
So you're one of those people that has a garage but don't put your vehicle in it.
No, neither of us do.
I've never had a garage in my entire life, and I'm like, but also, I'm in Michigan, so I would want my vehicle in there. So there's no snow on it.
A little different in California where it doesn't snow.
Or rain ever.
Oh, it rains. Trust me, it fucking rains. Not as crazy as some other places, but recently it's been raining a lot. But I say that because no one knows how to fucking drive in the rain. Like, as soon as one drop falls, everyone's like, we don't know how to drive.
So, do you ever listen to Jim Rome?
Mm-mm.
Okay, sports radio. I thought maybe you did. Sports radio host. He's grew up in LA, raised in, and he talks about that. He said the moment a drop of rain hits the windshield in LA or in California, people start getting in accidents. And it's crazy because, we're driving 100 miles an hour in snow here when we get snow. And we're bitching that people don't know how to drive because it is pretty stupid,
I could not drive in the snow. I give you props. Scary.
Well, if you don't grow, why do I get the feeling like you're just not a good driver to begin with?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a great driver. That's what I do for a living. All I do is drive all day. I do. I've put on almost 70,000 miles on my car in 3.5 years.
I used to. I used to put about 30 to 35,000 miles on my car every year.
Damn.
My oldest daughter, who when she moved to California, she sold my old car that I gave to her at 267,000 miles.
Damn.
And I think she had 100 and I think she got about 285, 290.
Yeah.
And it was still running. And the guy
yeah.
that bought it off her was like happy. Like, oh my God, it just runs good. It's in great shape. Like, yeah, I kept it in good shape. I had to make it get from point A to point B all the time.
I mean, somehow I've put that many miles and I, knock on wood, have not had to do anything major for it yet. But I also got it. It had like 30,000 when I got it. And I got it I ended up getting it from a dealership, and I think they must have put all brand new stuff into it. Yes, okay, I am a great driver.
Mark, you are not an impartial person here, okay? Because if you say she's a bad driver, you're not getting none tonight, all right? Or this weekend. So I'm sorry.
I will say he's a lot safer driver than I am. I am a logical driver, as I like to say. I will go with the flow of traffic. If people are going above the speed limit, I will also go above the speed limit. But I am very I'm still careful when I drive. I just don't drive slow.
You should
I think also because I drive so much that I've learned the patterns, and also I drive a lot of the same places that I've just, I don't know. I also drove on the other side of the road on the other side of the world in New Zealand. So, and that was fine. That was easy for me, actually.
Yeah, I think that for me would be, that would mess me up.
I did a lot of visualizing before I went, and I think that helped me a lot. Yeah, it's not as hard as you think it is. That's
But
also
but
crazy.
but so I'll explain this. Like I can't visualize skateboarding goofy. I grew up in an era that we did Mongo pushing backwards, right? So if you know what Mongo is, it's when you push off your back foot. So I'm regular foot, right? So I push with my right foot. Mongo is when people push with their front foot. It's the ugliest thing that you will ever see. But switch Mongo is different because we grew up like all the kids now, they learn how to push switch on a skateboard, if anyone's wondering, right? I can't visualize it. I talked about the G.I. Joe snow serpent. He comes with a snowboard, but the snowboard is goofy. So I will never use it because I cannot visualize it being that way. So much so that I was watching an interview with the skateboarder, a pro skater, and he said he was saying how he couldn't visualize someone skating. I want to say it was goofy, so he would watch things in the mirror. So he would watch like if someone skated goofy, he would watch it in the mirror. And I said something to my buddy Tony, who's always been better than all of us, and he's very cerebral. And he said that's what I used to do when I was younger. And I go, you motherfucker, why don't you like? You're already better than us. You could have at least given us some of the tips, like. But you know, I never thought about like watching it in a mirror. It seems crazy.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to go about it. Yeah, I did a lot of visualizing, which is something I had to do for softball because baseball and softball are 90% mental. So that's like a lot that you have to do. I don't know. And I think also in my head, or not even in my head, I think I like out loud kept telling myself like left lane, left lane, left lane.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that I just like you said, like you have to just constantly tell yourself in your head, like this is we gotta stay over here, gotta stay over here, gotta because you're also driving on the wrong side. Like, are the pedals different too?
No, I think they're the same.
Pedals are the same, but you're just on the.
But you have to, shift with your left hand, which is
well, I don't drive.
Which,
stick.
yeah, I think. Huh?
I don't drive stick.
No, but like just gears.
Oh, well, that would be driving stick. You talking about reverse?
No. Sometimes it's in the middle in the console.
Yeah, but I don't drive stick.
I'm not talking about stick.
Automatic, I don't care. I don't have to put it there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying it's on your left-hand side. Oh God, yeah, those are dumb. Or like the Jaguars, like you like press the button, it's a whole thing. It's stupid.
I'm not bougie enough to drive a Jaguar.
I drive other people's Jaguars.
I'm not that bougie.
Boozy?
Bougie.
Sounded like boozy.
I may have said that by mistake. Someone will go back and tell me that I was wrong.
Oh, I'm sure.
People love to tell me when I'm wrong. Like, great. I don't see you up here, do you?
So brave behind the icon.
Yeah, well, yeah. And again, we know there's a lot of people out there. So, as for your YouTube, the YouTube channel that you're doing, it's not really your channel. What do you guys focus on? Geek the F Out. What is it that you guys focus on?
Well, we started the channel with the Trek Retrek show as like our kind of like flagship show. So my co-host Johnny, he's seen like all of Star Trek there is, and I had pretty much seen none of it except for the new Chris Pine movies. And so our whole concept was to go episode by episode from the beginning and talk about them from each of our perspectives. And we got all the way through like halfway of season 3 of the original series. And I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it just got to that point where we kind of got
that's a lot of programming to watch and then talk about. Because if you're only doing it, I don't want to say you're only doing it to watch the program, but you don't want to watch ahead because then you have to go back and rewatch it. That's a lot.
I didn't have to go. We would pre-record and then we wouldn't do it live.
Yeah, but
So
I'm saying like that's still a lot of content to get through.
oh
A
yeah.
lot of.
And I would watch each of them like multiple times too to talk about them and to do the breakdowns, especially cuz like I broke down the episodes like I didn't use someone else's like summary or anything, and we would like break them down like scene by scene. And then I would do the that's what they said, and we also made memes, so it's like it was a lot of work for sure. And then Johnny would edit them as well. So that was like the main thing. And then when we came up with the name, which I give Johnny all the credit for coming up with the name, we purposely wanted something not Star Trek related so we could talk about other things.
Yeah.
So hence Geek the F Out, so we could talk about all things geeky, whether it's TV shows, movies, toys, comic cons, etc. So it'd be more of an open space in that regard. So yeah, we've talked about a bunch of other shows and movies since then. Like we actually watched Strange New Worlds, which is a recent Star Trek show. Someone's gonna kill me for saying worse. We've talked about like
that reminds me of the movie Ted, where they go across the. Have you ever seen Ted?
Yeah,
I've
it was a
seen
long
a
time
reel
ago.
before, where like they're going to a Comic-Con and it's Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, and a stormtrooper, I think, and they go to cross and they cross in front of and they start yelling at him, and then the girl's like yeah, go. And she yells like Spock, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And they're like, she doesn't know.
Exactly. Yeah, and so we've talked about other shows, like we talked about Loki, we talked about Ahsoka, we talked about did we talk about Andor when it's on? No, Andor came out before we started. We might talk about it again for the second season. I'm very excited for the second season of Andor.
For the Star Trek one, did you have a name for that series? Like
we called it Trek Retrek.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it was my first Trek and it was Johnny's retrek.
Okay, so the reason why I ask is because it was on John's last episode of Geek Dad Life that I realized that Geek Dad Life is the name of the channel, not the show. That the name of the show is called Toy Geeks. And even though he says it at the beginning, it never dawned on me. Which again, I don't think you're alone in that. No, I don't think so either. Because obviously my channel is a Punk with Toys, and I make sure like at the beginning of Monday Night Toy Ramblings. Well, I'm on more than Monday, so you probably figure that's not the name of it. And then this is Thursday with a friend. I'm real original with naming stuff that's on certain days. But I had no idea. Like, it didn't even dawn on me till that last episode, and then I was like, "Oh, that makes more sense," because it never dawned. Like, I mean, because that was their.
Yeah, because that was their original. Like, they did a podcast without video.
Yeah.
And then he decided to make the channel and then make that kind of like the flagship show, which now he does the podcast with Dan Larson. But Allison. It's all Allison kind of toy geeks. Yes. Yes. I mean, as she should. I feel like Allison knows the most about toys out of anyone I know.
I don't know if she knows the most about toys, but that woman knows how to find things out about people.
That's true.
So having her do research, I've had a few people in my life that just know how to find things out. I usually think I'm pretty good at diving in and finding stuff, but then people like Allison here and a few other people that have delved into things, and you're like, how the hell did you find that out? And like, well, and then you're like, okay, I don't need to know, but
she has her ways.
Anyone's better to find out, who doesn't know it, and they're going to do their research to find out all that stuff. But but we're talking about your show. I got
No, don't talk about me.
Well, that's why we had you here. All right, so you talked about all these other shows. Now you said you're coming back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're talking about Severance. Now I've recently heard what Severance was about. I have never watched it, and the only thing that I had heard is that people have the ability or have the choice to have their whole workday wiped from their memory.
Kind of. Basically,
I went, why would that even be enjoyable? But people love it. So
it's not so much enjoyable. It's so that people don't have to deal with their work life, essentially. So basically your memory.
I don't know why it'd be enjoyable to watch.
Oh, see, yes. It took me a while to watch it because the first season came out in like February 2022.
Yeah.
And I don't think I watched it until I think 2023 sometime because I thought the same thing. I was like, what is this, like the boring version of The Office or something? I mean, so basically the concept of it is that people, or not the concept, one of the concepts of the show and, the commentary on it is this like work-life balance, because everyone hates to go to work. And so wouldn't it be great to not have to remember or like be actively present at work? And so basically your memories are split into two. So basically you have like your work personality and your outside of work personality. So that your innies when you're in work and your outies when you're outside of work. But there's a lot more to the show than that. So that was like the main commentary because like you basically become two different people. Like if you strip all of your like outside world memories when you're at work, like you don't know anything about yourself, like who do you become? But it's much more than that because the company itself, it's called Lumen Industries, where they work, like is weird as fuck. Like it's a huge mystery what they do, and I don't want to give too much away for people.
No, you should. So
yeah.
So you said like they have memories when they're at work and then when they get out. So then could future Dwight actually be fasting himself? You've seen that episode of The Office?
Yes,
right?
I have. I love The Office.
when Jim is
yeah.
Don't drink.
It doesn't mess with time. It's just like when they leave work and they go up the elevator, they have no idea what just happened at work. And when they come into work and they go down the elevator, they have no idea what happened, outside of work, essentially. Like they pretty much know like nothing about themselves, which gets into the whole morality, ethics of it. I don't know the right term, but how a lot of people see these innies as not being actual people because they have their real life memories stripped from them. So it becomes a discussion or a like commentary on that as well. But most of it is like the mystery of, especially the second season, of what Lumen, the company, is doing specifically with a person. I'm trying to say this without giving anything away.
You don't have to.
that is related to one of the main characters. So yeah, it's really good. It's I mean, I loved the show Lost, and it's very similar in the aspect of like there are all these mysteries and it's fun to talk about it with people, because like I've been listening to a lot of podcasts or a lot of like YouTube channels about it, so it's fun to get back into it. Yes, the egg cart is coveted as fuck, and it's funny. There's like definitely some good humor in there, and it's just so visually appealing as well. There's an episode this season that some of the scenes were shot with an old film camera, and then the other scenes were just shot in a regular camera, and just the like cinematography of it is like beautiful. And also it's like that episode is they give us so much information but also make us or give us even more questions. It's like one of those episodes. So yeah, it's great. Like I love shows like this where you have to like think about it. I also love shows that you don't have to think about, but um
That.
yeah. It's great. And just like I think the community of it, because like I loved that community of Lost and like talking about it with other people or hearing other people's like theories. I think it brings back that nostalgia factor for me as well. So yeah.
Well, this is the season finale
Mhm.
that you're going to be
Mhm.
talking about tomorrow. Do you?
Well, we're talking about the season as a whole and the show as a whole, but probably mostly focus on the finale.
But do you still have plans to continue to do Geek the F Out every Friday, or?
Oh, I mean, it won't be every Friday. It'll just kind of be like we'll probably talk about Andor season 2 when it comes out because we
Okay.
both really loved Andor. I don't know if that would be weekly like we did before, or maybe like every few episodes kind of thing. Which I think they're releasing it 3 episodes at a time, from what I remember. Or if there's other movies and stuff that come out, we'll talk about them like as it goes. There's not going to be any kind of like set schedule or anything like that.
No, that's cool. And
Mhm.
I do want to say something. So I know I don't know if Rowdy is still in here. I quickly jumped on her live stream before, and when I first met her, I kind of came in guns a blazing about the maximum Spider-Man. Anytime someone's mad now, it's maximum, right? That's our new code for people mad. Maximum, because people are so mad. And we disagreed, but we had a good conversation. We chatted after, and she said that on the live stream. And the reason why I bring that up is because you and I, when we were chatting probably a year ago or whatever, I told you, I'm like, well, I completely disagree with what you're saying. And you came back and you said, that doesn't surprise me. But we continue to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I think you and I we fall with a lot of our ideals on two different aisles. But here we are having a conversation, not yelling and screaming at each other and hating each other.
Yeah.
And, don't get me wrong. I'll go off on you on Monday night. But I really like that about you. Again, when we
right
chatted
back at
about
you.
stuff, that again, you don't have to agree with everyone as long as you're respectful. And you have a reason why, and you can listen to someone else's. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to have their exact same beliefs or whatever. But you sit there and you have respect for them, and you talk to them about everything that is, that you've been discussing. And I just wanted to bring that up. That I really enjoyed that about you when we talked.
Yeah,
Man,
you as well. It's funny because without you saying that, I was gonna say something similar because like, I feel like as I've gotten to know you, it just sucks because there are a lot of people, like everyone's different, everyone has their different ideas, but not a lot of people are willing to talk about them and will like jump to conclusions, and like I think we're all guilty of that. But I think it's different when you are willing to like still like talk it through and like see the other person's perspective. And that's something that I've always appreciated about you as well, is like you're always willing to have the conversation. Like you'll say whatever your opinion is, but like you're also willing to like talk about it. It's not like, oh, this is this way and that's it, and you're like, I don't want to talk about it, because a lot of people are that way, unfortunately.
go on Facebook and it's all over, and it's like, good fucking Lord, I hate you
Yeah.
all. And it's not, and again, before anyone says, it's not just
sucks.
one side of the aisle. It's both parties that.
Yeah.
And again,
And it's not just politically, it's just anything.
But right now it's mostly politics. But I've also seen it
Yeah.
in religion when people act a certain way, and you're like, really? Because last time I checked, if you're very religious, you're not supposed to be as judgmental as you are.
Yeah. Growing up Catholic, like I've really seen the hypocrisy of it, of like Christianity in general, especially people that call themselves Christians or Christians that support people that call themselves Christians. I'm like, do you think that that's what Christians should do? I don't fucking think so. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, like the hypocrisy of it is mind-boggling. And like, once again, growing up Catholic, and I'm like religion essentially is a cult. Like, as a Catholic, I'm going up and receiving the body and blood of Christ. Even though it's not literally the body and blood of Christ, you're supposed to think it's the body and blood of Christ. I'm like, if that isn't culty shit, I don't know what the fuck is it. Like, and that's fine. Like, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I like don't poo-poo anyone's religion as long as you're not hurting.
Thank you for
as
using
long
that
as you're
term.
not
Wait a minute.
hurting.
Thank you for using the term poo-poo, because I love using the word poo-poo. That is the greatest term. Sorry.
Like, as long as you're not hurting other people in any way,
Yes.
whatever, do whatever you want. And I think that's the same like with any other aspect of life, politics or whatever. Like, someone being themselves, being whatever way they are, believing whatever they want to believe, if it's not hurting you, why the fuck do you care? It doesn't change the way mustard tastes.
I've said this before. I've never caught gay from being around one of my gay friends. It's crazy.
Crazy, right?
I've never been like at the skate park with one of my buddies that's gay and been like, oh my God, I really need to date a man now. It's crazy. And
what a concept. Or like having drag queens read to kids, like suddenly they're gonna be gay, or like suddenly, like I love the comparison of like drag queens reading to children and how there's never been any kind of like pedophilia with that, yet like there's been a shit ton in the church. Like,
I won't even go there. Like, I'm not even talking about it. Like,
yeah.
although I've made my fair share of jokes on live streams. I made my fair share of jokes, and hey, I'm sorry if you don't want a stereotype, don't make a stereotype. How about that? No, this may come as a surprise. I like to argue things, but as I tell, arguing doesn't mean you're yelling and screaming. It's having an argument, and I can argue.
I think it's like it really. I don't think it's even arguing what you do necessarily. I think it may come across that way, and it might be sometimes. But I think I can tell you come from a place of like wanting to get to the bottom of it, or like wanting to like understand it from the other side, or just what's the word? Words are hard. Fuck. ADHD, man.
Well, if you're not
like push people's like ideas of things. Like
I want people to push back on me for what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you soccer sucks, this was my favorite. I hate soccer. I'll tell you soccer sucks. And people and their thing is they'll come back and go, yeah, they'll come back and go, what if I said skateboarding sucks? I go, okay, then you say it doesn't change how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Just me telling you that soccer is as boring as golf. And it is. And it's super boring.
I hate golf.
So do I. My daughter plays it now, so
oh no. Oh no.
But it's like I want you to tell me, hey, I don't care. I love it. People, I would say, pop music sucks. Well, what if I tell you punk sucks? Doesn't change one thing on how I feel about it or the enjoyment I had going to all those shows back in the day. And that's how, but that's what I like. I like having an argument. I like having debates, and I've always had this ability to take myself out of my actual feelings. I'm very good at it, probably too good, where I can take my emotions out of things, and debate most things. I cannot debate certain things, like what we kind of talked about with priests and stuff and that type of. I cannot do that, and different because you can't say these things on YouTube. Like there's just certain things that like that's just immorally wrong that I cannot do. But I can debate both sides of the aisle for or different sides of it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to those certain things with like what Michael Jackson was, we'll say accused of, but he did it.
Thank you. There's
Don't
not
give
too
me-
many people to say it. I'm like, okay.
I'm sorry he did that. Or what the guy from that '70s show, what he's sitting in prison for. I can never debate that side of it. I'm sorry. There are certain things that I just cannot do.
Yeah,
But you can
exactly.
understand, but like to sit on one side of something, if you're not willing to hear the other side of it and understand why they think they do, then you're just as bad as that person that you can't stand. Because let's be honest, political parties, they're supposed to work together. So it's not one-sided all the time. So when these one-sided people come in, and it doesn't have to be politics, like you said, it can be anything. Like if you're not willing to listen,
Yeah.
and again, there's certain things that I'm never going to agree with certain people.
Yeah. And I think those certain things, like we were just talking about, is like when it comes to hurting people for being who they are. That's where we draw the line, because that's not okay. Humans are humans at the end of the day. Once again, how someone is, who they are, does not change the way mustard tastes. Like, why the fuck do you care? Like, it's kind of weird that you care so much. Why are you so interested in that? Maybe think about it yourself.
It's really weird. Like, and I said that before. Like when people say, I don't want my kid to see two girls kissing in a store. I don't want my kid to see a guy and a girl kissing in a store either. So what is it like? And so I don't need to see affection like that out in
PDA.
That's it. I don't need to see that. It's there, but my kids are not going to see two guys kissing and be like, "Oh my god, that's how I need to be now."
Yeah.
And
it's not how it works. Considering, I love the example of that is like, kids that aren't straight growing up only watching stuff on TV and movies of people being straight, and somehow they're still gay. So it's like, clearly it doesn't matter what you see. Like, how does that change anything? Like, your logic isn't logicking there.
I actually, when we found out we were pregnant, I had somebody ask me, and I don't know why they asked me this. They asked me, "What if your son ends up being gay?" And I was like, "What if he does?" If my kids find someone that they love and that loves them back, good for them, right? Like, as long as I'm not like finding out they're like marrying like a goat or something. Like, all right, like, certainly.
You say a goat?
I did say goat.
That's funny because that's Severance related, actually.
I was really thinking about the mini horse from
Little Sebastian.
Little Sebastian. That's what I was actually thinking, but I couldn't think of his name.
Another farm animal.
But it's just, again, it's one of those things where, like you said, it doesn't affect me. So why do I care? But again, I do have certain beliefs that other people don't agree with, or some people agree with, but they don't want to say it out loud, and that's perfectly fine, because you know how fast things can spiral out of control, and when you try and constantly explain yourself out of it, you end up normally digging yourself a bigger hole.
Yeah.
So you don't talk about it in a spectrum like this. Like I said, I don't talk politics or religion, but this is different. You and I are having, a personal conversation. This will
also, at the end of the day, it's not even, well, I mean, religion is different, but like politics, like, it's not even that. It's like basic human rights and decency. One of the things, as you know, that I say all the time is it's not that hard to be a decent human, but apparently it is. So, it's not it's not even like politics. Unfortunately, a lot of basic human decency has been wrapped up in politics, but at the end of the day, it's just human rights in general. It's just being a good human and letting other people just live their fucking lives.
But with that said, when you look at the other side of it, we've all heard the reel when the person says it doesn't cost anything to be a good person, and the person says, "Well, how much does it cost to be an asshole?" It doesn't cost anything. That's it.
No, it doesn't. Exactly. It's choosing
You're right.
to be an asshole.
And you can be an asshole for certain things, and then there's other things
yeah.
that. But again, you're right. Like it's not hard to be a decent human being.
Yeah.
It's not hard to just take accountability for. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to admit that you're wrong. I think we've talked about it before. In life, we talk like it's okay to be wrong. And hey, we live in a nation that it is the most forgiving nation in the world, right? Like you say something awful, and then 2 weeks later, you're like, "Hey, I'm apologizing," but then we see the same person,
or they say that they didn't say that.
Yeah, I've watched numerous YouTubers. They say something, and then they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I was wrong. I'm not going to do this," and then you see them do it again, and then they apologize.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that says, "You know what? How many times do you have to apologize for it, and then redo the same thing before I say that's who you are?"
Yeah,
you're not sorry for it. You're sorry
you
that
have
you got in trouble.
You have to actually do the work. Like you can't just say sorry. You actually have to do the work with it, and that's the problem. Like these people will just continue, and yeah, it's funny because that does happen a lot with YouTubers, especially. They'll like do horrible shit, like fucking Logan Paul and Jake Paul. They've done absolutely horrible shit, especially Logan, and like they still have a huge fucking following, and like it's crazy. Like I don't know. Like I think people I don't know. I don't know what the reason is why we're like this. It fucking sucks to not hold anyone accountable anymore. And I think we kind of swung the opposite way with cancel culture. We're like, we need to hold people accountable, so we're going to cancel them. And I'm like, no, that's too far. Like, back it up. Let people learn, grow, unlearn, change, become better people. Let's not just like say this person's done because that's too far. We have to give them the space to be able to do that. But at the same time, I feel like we're still not holding them accountable. You know what I mean?
No, I do. And I agree with you. Like we live in a country that we have freedom of speech. Now, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, we have freedom of speech. Does not mean that you don't. I mean, you are free to go ahead and you want to throw a salute up. You can do it. But the consequence might be that someone may just knock your ass out. And that's perfectly fine. You had your right to do what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And if no one says anything, then that's fine. I go back to when people have an ideal of gun rights, and I believe in gun rights. I also believe that I probably shouldn't get into this, but I think that there should be stricter laws. Again, if you didn't do anything wrong, who cares? I have no problem with people having automatic weapons. People say, "Why do you need it? Why do we need a car that goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds?" Because I can take it somewhere and I can drive it like that responsibly. But when the people that have the M4s and they want to protest and they want to show that they are responsible and they walk into Target or they're walking by schools because they want to show that is their right. That is your right. But the problem is you're showing exactly why people don't want people to have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, also small dick energy at its finest. It's the equivalence of like when they have the big monster trucks.
War Chest says, somebody told me you guys were short and asshole in the chat, so here I am. War Chest is here. and showing up just on time. And just Jeff asking what I missed. You missed a whole bunch, Jeff.
Yes. Also, I'm gonna plug in my computer. Keep talking.
Oh, but yeah, I just think that we have, there is something to people that speak, but then they don't want to take accountability for it. And again, everyone has that right, but you also have the consequences that come with it, and it's it's too bad, but that's life, man. We can do whatever we want. And just Jeff jumping in here saying, well, I'm officially a big fan of hers. And then look, did something just end? Sonic Fighters, Kimberlyn jumping in here saying, I like her. So we get War Chest, Jeff, Jeremy jumping in all at the end here, which I definitely do appreciate. It makes me feel like you guys thought there was a better stream to watch than mine, which is very disappointing. I should be number one on everyone.
I thought there was no one else streaming.
There's not supposed to be.
It's funny because our Trek retreks would come out on Thursdays, so but like yeah, can't be the only one.
No, we talked about this after Joe Fest. There seemed to be a lot of people that started doing live streams, and I feel like when we were at Joe Fest, there was a lot of people that saw myself and a Toy Con Mood was there, Ken, and they just kind of went, wow, you know what? We all can do this. And they can. So there's just been this big upheaval of new streamers. And I tell everyone, I go, do I want people to want to try and go up on Monday against me or Thursday? No. But if you want to go live and you're like, Monday is the only day that works for me, and it's at 9 p.m., then you do it. My job has never and will never be to not make you watch someone else's show. It's to make you want to watch my show.
Yeah.
And, and not Geek That Life. Yo Joe Jerk and Toy Games, they go on at 8 o'clock on Mondays. They also go on at 8 o'clock on Thursdays, too. Like, why I got to fight with them twice. My job is not to make you not watch them.
I mean, we're not children. Like, if someone really has a problem with that, like, I don't know, maybe they should reflect on themselves a little bit. Like, there's so many fucking channels out there. Like, not even if you know them or you're in the same space, groups, whatever with them, there's always someone streaming, it's
no, and the thing is, this isn't like the old TV where, oh my God, Family Ties is on at the exact same time as Growing Pains. I don't know if they were on at the same time. They probably weren't. But you didn't have to make a choice. Again, I want people to be at 9 o'clock on Monday to be like, I want to tune in and watch this. But if you like Games and Jerk more, my job is still to make you say, hey, you know what? I know he's live. Once they're done, I'm gonna jump over there and I'll finish up on the replay. Or maybe you got to go to bed and you're like, hey, I'm gonna watch this on the replay. This show here is specifically made so people can watch it and get to know the person opposite me. But I'm never going to be someone who's going to try and get someone to stop. And we see a lot of these guys do it, and they do it in their own way. That they try, they don't want you to watch other people's channel. There's a lot of YouTubers I don't like, and most of the people know who I don't like. But if you enjoy their content, I'm never going to be someone that says, hey, it's either me or them. And there's a lot of people that I've been told about that are like that. Yeah. That, some guys in the Motu, they're like, no. If you're gonna be friends with them, we can't be friends. And to me, that is like, wow, my issues with someone else should not be yours. But if I have an issue with them, you may want to listen to why I do.
That's true.
I have no problem like presenting why, and then that's up to you, but yeah, that's it's just Jeff says 3-star normal shit just hit a bit today.
Oh jeez.
It happens. You know,
Yeah.
you're a good guy.
It's just with I don't know, people in general. I feel like I've always been able to read people really well, and there's definitely been times where in my friend groups growing up, that like I knew someone wasn't the best person and I wasn't friends with them, but some of my friends were friends with them. And, sometimes I said things, sometimes I didn't say things, but I always would say things with the intent of, I don't care if you're friends with them, make your own decision, just be aware of this.
Thank you.
And at the end of the day, they all figured it out.
And here's the other thing. Someone can be a complete asshole to a bunch of people and still be good to other people.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, it is possible. Right?
That's so true. Yeah.
There are people that can be, they can treat the majority of the people like shit, but certain people they treat absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And
Or vice versa. Like they'll say their like partner like shit, but everyone else amazing.
which is crazy. What?
Happens a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
Yep.
Again, I don't know why you want to be with someone like that, but people do.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But you said you wanted to go 2 hours, maybe two and a half. I've kept you for 2 hours and 42 minutes.
Yes.
I told you it just goes by.
I know.
It goes by.
I know. My eyes are definitely starting to get tired though. I haven't done my double ring lights in a minute. I usually just use this one.
Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about your romantic life here? Because I don't think anyone knew. I like you didn't tell me that Mark was your boyfriend. You're just like, yeah.
It's recent. We've been dating for like it'll be 6 months in a couple weeks. But yeah, through the YouTube spaces actually. We're long distance right now, but he will actually be moving to the Bay Area soon. Not because of me, but I am a perk. So yeah.
So my question is he a collector also?
Yeah, he collects a lot of stuff. He collects a lot of like DVDs of movies, TV shows, etc.
Okay.
And he does have a lot of Funkos as well. I know how a lot of people feel about Funkos, but teach their own.
Now, Kayla, run.
I didn't meet him through the toy community.
You remember when I said that the Beanie Babies aren't worth shit? No,
but the thing is, Funko just has so many fucking IPs, and like that's where they win.
It's genius.
Yeah,
I don't care what anyone says. It's genius.
Totally.
Because you know what? You're not trying to focus in on guys like me that collect G.I. Joe. You make some G.I. Joe Funko Pops, and you're like, hey, maybe some people are gonna buy it. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It can't cost that much because there's no articulation to it. Some of them have bobbleheads, but there's no real articulation to it. But then you get a group of people that love The Office, and here you have these Office ones, and they're just going to pick it up and leave it on their desk. Or
there's a lot of people that just have Funkos on their desks of like because they just have every fucking IP, so it's they have a much bigger not audience, consumer pool. Is that the right word?
Well, Lego's no different, right?
Yeah. But Lego's more expensive, so I feel like Funko, it's like most are $10.
Now, again, I feel like it's easier to date somebody or be involved with somebody that also understands collecting. Because my ex, I wasn't really collecting because we had kids and again, we were two working people. We were one working person because once she got pregnant, she actually quit her job the day before she found out.
Oh damn!
So you only have so much, disposable income. But she never understood why I collected what I collected. That I still had all my GI Joe stuff and different things like that. Like she didn't understand it. She had a horrible childhood when her dad picked her up from her mom's. She wasn't able to take anything. It was just like, come on, you're going with me.
Shit.
So, compared to where even though I lost my mom when I was 13 years old, I had a good childhood. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't understand, and she still doesn't fully understand. She thinks it's a waste of money for the most part. She thinks I waste money. Olivia wants all these Funko Pops, and I, buy them for her because it makes her happy. Something new.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
it's not what I do to make her happy, so she likes me. That girl actually enjoys spending time. If I did that, I'd buy my son more stuff, so then he actually liked me.
Oh my god. Yes. We got a Kayla snort. There's got to be at least one.
I think I snorted on Monday. No, I think
Oh
I
my
snorted on Tuesday, and I'm like, I just snorted.
I do it a lot. I think at the end of the day, we all have our things, whether it's our hobbies, if it's something we collect, we all have our things. And I feel like each person has their thing that they are willing to spend more money on or just spend their fun money on.
Yep.
And like we were just talking about before, like, why does like something that someone else does, like why do you care? Like if it makes them happy, let them be fucking happy
If you're not hurting
at the end of the
anyone
day.
else.
Yeah.
If I want to spend all my disposable income on toys, but my kids are fed, there's clothes on, there's food on the table, roof over their head.
Yep.
What does it matter? It doesn't
Exactly.
matter to you as long as I'm not hurting, you or anyone else.
Exactly.
Roman right now thinks I'm hurting him by not letting him out.
It's okay, Roman.
Hey, buddy, I know. Give me 1 second. I know. That's someone saying it's
like
time
now,
to
Dad.
Well, Kayla, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
You can find her on Instagram and on her YouTube channel in the description. But tell everyone where they can find you and what you're going to be doing tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah, on Instagram, our channel, Geek the F Out, it's at GTFO channel on Instagram. My personal Instagram is at Silverkayyy, which is how it's spelled. Well, not right now, but in a second when the comment leaves with 3 Y's.
Wait.
I hate that it does
why does
that.
this go away? Because nothing has changed.
Why?
Our picture didn't change. And
It's
I need
dumb.
to know about Jeff's cocaine problem and how it's ripping the family apart.
Oh no. Don't do drugs. Stay in stool, kids. Stay in stool. Yeah, so you can find us there tomorrow night. We'll be talking about Severance season 2. Yeah, we'll probably mostly talk about the finale, but I mean, we're gonna get into the whole show in general so far for sure. We're gonna be streaming at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, on GTFO channel. That's also how you can search us on YouTube. Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. Excited to be back in action. This was like a nice little practice run, I guess. Like being back streaming again.
Hey, you know what? I again, just right, pat myself on the back. Almost everyone has said that I've made this very easy for them to talk to, which was not my.
So you're just complimenting yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm fucking making myself feel really good.
Yeah.
My goal was to make people feel intimidated and feel stiff and blood pressure raise, and yeah. Then
hey, sometimes feeling stiff is a good thing.
So anyway, please check out Kayla. Go over there right now and subscribe to the channel. So
we're almost at 500.
We'll get him over 500.
I don't think we have the views anymore. We were really riding on Johnny opening up his Eternia and being like the first to open the Eternia, because we got like 10,000 fucking views. It was wild. And like the rest of our videos are like, we'll be happy if we get 100. But yeah, we were riding on that, but it's been over a year now, so I don't think we have those.
That goes away.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
okay.
know I hear people talk about like I don't have the views. I'm like, dude, I have the views in like a fucking week. like if I put out like 4 G.I. Joe videos, like I'll have like over 4,000 watch hours, like so quick.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's weird how it works. Like the algorithm, I don't think it makes sense. Like, yeah.
So anyway, go over there, subscribe, watch their channel tomorrow. You said 10 p.m. Eastern
10
Standard
p.m.
Time.
Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And if you don't know who Kayla is, you should, because now she's going to be back on, and maybe you'll catch her on the Clubhouse because
Yes.
she has to come back now.
I will
right?
be back. I will be back. Yes. Good times. Good times. Maybe not for like 6, 7, 8 hours like I used to. Maybe not that full
I don't
time.
even want to do that anymore. So
It's so
anyway,
long.
thank you guys all for joining, Kayla. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And you guys all know where
Thanks
to
for
find me.
having me.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Take care.